on. Get your little pink bullshit out of here.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello, simps and virgins. And
Disrespectful.
Welcome back to Krown's magical Boomer Cave.
Get out of my face over here. Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. I want to wish everyone out there a nice and healthy and happy morning as Bitcoin higher than a flock of giraffe pussies right now. Looking pretty damn good. And we do have plenty to discuss because today is a rather big day. Today and actually tomorrow, in fact. Today being, I think, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday the 6th. Uh-oh, it's Wednesday the 6th. That's a bad omen right there. And we do have some very, very interesting things going on in the underlying market dynamics yet again. So with that in mind, I would like to wish you the best in the happy apps once again, and let's get into it right now. And holy fucking moly, man, this is actually insane. We have 200 likes now, 200 likes before the videos actually even really started. What the fuck? I don't understand this. I want to say thank you. I want to say a massive and sincere thank you, but what the fuck? Seriously, that is getting insane. But again, major thank you for that. It does help out the channel. But it's all good, man. We do want to make this cave a little bit more difficult to find as well, you know, so also make sure to make your dislikes as well. I think that might help out. Anyways, with that said, into the Krown chain application we go, which we found at app.krown.net. And what do we see today? We see Bitcoin dominance rising up like a phoenix, and that is good. We do expect Bitcoin to be leading these moves if they are going to be strong moves to the upside and, of course, the downside as well. But with that in mind, that would be more on the bullish side, obviously, as Bitcoin is being the first mover on this nice little leg. On top of that, fear and greed index is starting to tick back up into the somewhat greedy zone. Not necessarily concerning just yet, but we're getting up there, you know, as you would expect after a more than $10,000 rally. Looking pretty damn good right there. Holy fucking moly, man. What's up, Crypto Chrissy? I see you over there. What's up, Demos? What's up, Mr. Gaylord? Dub Dogstep. Oh my lord, man. I cannot say that name for the life of me. It is insane. Anyways, top 10 best coins. Shiba making me eat my shit over the last couple days. I was actually I wasn't necessarily bearish on it a couple days ago, but I was like, I do not trust this thing. I do not trust this thing at all. Oh, 60 and 50% right in my face. Krown wrong on that one big time. And what do we see other than that? Coin, Theta, Nem, Chili's, Engine Coin, Hollow, Doggy Coin, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin SV. All of the best coins rallying up to the fucking heavens and beyond, as you would expect. Anyways, into the market data tab we go. Okay, a couple things of interest right here. That global leverage ratio continues to pop up ever so closer to what we have seen on some pretty nasty flushes, some leverage flushes, that is. That is also going to be in combination with, if I can remove my face over here, with the open interest rate as well. Getting up there, not necessarily too concerning just yet here. As you can see, it is obviously well below what we saw on the September dumbola, and of course, and definitely, of course, the April dumbola right here as well. But we do have an interesting setup, obviously, with funny rates starting to rise up, trending up right there, with leverage ratio starting to climb up a bit as well, and of course, open interest also getting into some interesting territory. So I don't think that, again, I want to be really fucking deliberately clear with expressing this. Hopefully, I can be as clear as possible with this. Look, this is not actionable in and of itself right now. It will set up potentially a massive, nasty move, and we'll talk about triggers for that, similar to yesterday, although they will be different now as Bitcoin has done some actually important things over the last 24 hours. So no longer would I be looking for about 46,000 bucks to be the big bad trigger for a nasty little washout right there. We're going to move that up actually quite a fair bit going on right here. So keep that in mind, and also keep the old moons in mind as well, because we do apparently have a bear on moon right now, which is actually, funnily enough, pretty much the exact setup that we had back on over here. Just by the way, for what it's worth, global leverage ratio at that point was about 0.179, and we did have a bear on moon the day before. I can't believe I'm talking about this shit, but you know what? Fair enough. That was a setup, and we did see that open interest was obviously a lot higher than where we're at right now as well. But hey, you know, keep in mind that we're also pretty much around the same sort of price action as well, which is rather interesting. So I'm gonna put my dirty face back on. Let's get back into it over here, and let's look at what Bitcoin's doing right now. So Bitcoin, obviously, as we did say yesterday, look, there are some areas of interest for concerning price action, but until they get triggered, the path of least resistance is up. And what is most important in this next less than 24 hours, actually, in fact, 15 hours, 55 minutes, and 25 seconds right here, is that CME chart will have a chance to, or not a chance, it will certainly close a 5-day dildo, and it's going to have a chance to close this 5-day dildo on new highs, which would imply, well, very likely moves back up towards your technical targets of about 57, maybe even 58,000 bucks, back around this major meltdown from early May that we saw back on over here. So where does the underlying market dynamics start to feed into what we're looking at on current price action? Because price action from a technical analysis perspective is not bearish in any way, shape, or form on any higher term timeframes. On lower term timeframes, yes, there's going to be ebbs and flows, but that was kind of the similar thing to what we saw over here as well. It was underlying market dynamics concerning, but overall not actionable until I believe the trigger for that one was below about $51,000 on that day. I couldn't have told you there was going to be another 10,000 dump Ola right below that, but that was my triggering event for not being on the long side anymore. Anyways, with that said, the question is, how high does Bitcoin get before we do have to kind of deal with these somewhat not so lovely underlying market dynamics? And I suspect that Bitcoin probably will have a chance here. And with that in mind, if Bitcoin does close this 5-day deal anywhere above, certainly anywhere above $51,000, I'd even go as far as saying $50,000, I would be looking for that next targeted region to be met. Probably also going to be confluent with something on the volume profile right here as well. As you can see, yeah, we are kind of operating above the point of control at this point, which is good, and we are within the midst of, you know, really nothing really going on right here. So Bitcoin can zoom across. Typically, the way that you go down is the way that you go up, and the way that you go up is the way that you go down. In this case right here, we zoomed right through this area on the way down. We can zoom right through it on the way up as well. And keep in mind where the next sort of higher value nodes come in around to the upside. That's going to be $57,000, and yeah, anywhere between $57,000 and $58,000 overall. So keep that areas in mind. And of course, to the downside, you know, as long as we are above the point of control right here, I don't think that there's certainly no major threat of a downside move. But if we do start to take that area out, that's at the point where I really would start to entertain those possibilities of move back down at the very least to low $40,000 territory, maybe lower than that over time as well. I think it is a little bit concerning that most people in this market right now, or it's not most people, but from what I can gather and what the community has also kind of said as well, it seems that most people believe that Bitcoin will never see below $40,000 again. Look, I would love for that to be true, and perhaps it will end up being true, but always need to have a plan for what to do if, you know, something like that does come to fruition. So I do think that that is rather important to point out, because we do see somewhat of concerning setup on the underlying market dynamics. Again, not actionable in and of itself right now. So let's go over here to our momentum oscillators, check what we got going on the daily right now. And what do you know? On the daily Stokes, we will continue rising above, actually, as long as we are above 49,350. So looking good right there. But if Bitcoin were to come back down, you know, especially below that territory, I'll even go back on over here, and let's actually mark off that area right now. Let me take off the volume profile. And actually, that is hilariously similar to what we saw over here again as well. That is fucking profound, actually. Just from a fractalistic sort of standpoint, here's your base, here's your base, here's your here's your sort of what do you want to call it, consolidation before parabolic. Here's your consolidation before parabolic, and then same thing right there. So I would pretty much be having the same sort of interpretation of this. That would be your spike low right there. And that was actually pretty much right below, yeah, $51,000. So in this case right here, I'd say right below, let's call it low $49,000. That's where it starts to get actually concerned. Until that happens, the path of least resistance is to the upside. And Bitcoin has done a few very, 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 very important things in the last 24 hours that we have not addressed just yet. And so one of the biggest bearers hopium going into this last little move right here, I believe it's been destroyed. In fact, I don't believe it's been destroyed. I would say, well, at least from a TA perspective, it's 100% without a fucking doubt been destroyed. And that was this, that Bitcoin was working on some sort of a long-term descending triangle right here. Whoops, well, that's your technical target to the upside, but we'll just get rid of that right now. I want to talk about this right here. And what did we see? We did see a bit of declining highs coming in on this trend line right here, and we did see about the same lows coming in right here as well, obviously, and that would have been your ascending triangle, of course. So with that in mind, we do see that Bitcoin's not just closed above there, it's actually already retested it and using it as support. This is good, this is strong, this is healthy, of course. So with all of that in mind, I do like what's going on right now. And technically speaking, should probably be looking for another retest of your prior highs on that former rally. That would be about right. So let me just adjust some things over here. We'll get to my testnet account as well. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Actually kind of interesting. I get a lot of questions about this, but I'll just leave it right there. Anyways, let me take my face off. I can show my positions right here. Again, this is a testnet account. It's not real money for anyone who happens to give a fuck right now. But basically, what are we looking at? Oh, and I need to turn off the alerts as well. Apologies about that. Probably getting a little bit too annoying and probably also, confusing my own self. Anyways, still about 20 deltas long over here, but I do want to actually be buying a call spread right now. The reason being is because that 5-day that we're looking at, over here on spot price action is trending down right now, and we actually are down around about the 10 percentile region. So I do look at this as something that, well, I kind of want to take advantage of. Now, obviously, yesterday I did buy another put spread. I think I actually did a time spread. I bought the front month, sold the sold the far away. So I actually bought this week and then sold. Where did I sell? Yeah, I sold 22nd of October. That's the only liquidity I could find. In this case right here, what do I want to do? Well, I want to actually go a little bit further out if I'm going to be doing this, and let's go to like the 29th expiration over here. And what do I want to actually buy? Maybe I'll actually go to November. Let's see, where's the actual liquidity in these bitches? Doesn't look anything too interesting just yet. Certainly not going to be hitting the fucking certainly not going to be hitting the fucking or lifting the fucking offer in those cases. No, thank you. I think, you know what, I'm going to hold off on that for right now. I'm not liking what I'm seeing there just yet. I like to see a little bit of an ebb and flow around these levels before making a bit of a decision. But there is a bit of a setup, and I would like to buy another spread, probably the 55-60 call spread if I can. That's essentially what I'm looking at right here. Anyways, okay, cool. All right, so I should mark off the areas of course, what's it called, of nastiness, if you will. Let's say 49,500 is your big warning signal, and then of course, if you want to be aggressive, I think that would be fine, or at least, of course, this is not finished fast, not a finished advisor, but below 49,100 or so is where I'd say there's no more questions asked. This thing's coming back down, and probably coming back down hard, at least to 47,000 bucks. Below 47, that's where I look for this baby to fall apart yet again, actually. But until then, again, the path of least resistance is to the upside, and momentum also is looking more or less good here, more or less healthy. We don't see any sort of bearish divergences forming even on a full hour right now, so short-term pullbacks should likely be just short-term pullbacks. Let's go over here to the 12-hour and see if there's anything of particular interest here as well. I'm sure someone's going to call out bearish divergence between this point and this point. It's not present yet because we don't have a local high, and we also don't have higher highs just yet either. And let's go over here to the daily as well. Same thing, not even a consideration, although typically speaking, this first test back into the bullish control zone very likely does get pushed back. So I don't think that, oh fuck, my face isn't there anymore. God damn it, I'm gonna miss my clouts. There we go. Typically does get pushed back, but that probably should be the next sort of higher low. So at some point, Bitcoin will come back down and set in a higher low. The question is, where does that level come in around? And I would not try to guess or analyze that level or at least I find that it's very unwise, very fucking unwise is a clever way of putting it, to try to guess those areas before we actually have a local high end. Do we have a local high end right here right now? No, this is just continuation. I mean, it's continuation, sirs. But at some point, it will put in something resembling a high. Let's just play with some numbers here. Say that Jesus fucking Christ, man. Elsa, do your goddamn job for the love of God. Seriously. Thank you. Anyways, no, just fucking do it. Jesus Christ. Anyways, it's taken way too much time, sir. Anyways, here's the thing. So, someone just spending their time yet again like that. It's like, it blows my mind, man. It blows my fucking mind. Anyways, at some point we will have to, we will put in something resembling a high, and then it will be time to be looking for a pullback. So let's just say perhaps Bitcoin gets up to that $58,000 target first. At that point, I'd pull a retracement like this. In fact, I need to, this is going to be sloppy. Let me actually just do it over here. If I'm going to do some projections, let me get rid of this. It's not relevant. It's not even a valid idea anymore, actually. But let's say that we got all the way up there. Yeah, probably looking somewhere around about 49,000 bucks to 48,000 bucks is probably where I would be looking towards. Maybe a higher low at about 52,000 bucks, but I would expect strongly, as usual, people are going to get very, 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 very scared during those times, as you typically, should feel. But keep in mind, for right now, Bitcoin does have a higher high. It does not have a higher low. So if you are going, by the book right here on the daily, technically speaking, we do not have an actual reversal just yet. But here's the thing: all the higher term timeframes, I mean, they're just presenting a different picture. So I think that that's more or less noise, and you can kind of smooth out that noise by looking at these higher term timeframes, like the 2-day, 5-day, and of course the weekly as well. In the 5-day right here, while it's not necessarily closing today, similar to CME, this is obviously, how do I say this? Not fucking bearish. Not fucking bearish. Anyways, I believe that we were looking at this on past Friday as well and putting a lot of weight on this one. Anyways, so any sort of a closure above 51,000 bucks, especially, I mean, I'm looking for 57 to 58,000 bucks after that. If Bitcoin were to close below 50,000 bucks, a little bit concerning perhaps, but we'll come back tomorrow. And of course, we will already have it on CME later today anyways. And CME is going to supersede anything else that I'm looking at to begin with. And this would be your next higher low on of course, 5-day, which is a rather powerful chart. You already have a higher high just by closing above that $49,000 level, or $50,000 level, more accurately said. And then yes, it's very, 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 very likely to continue onwards and forwards. So let's go check out other lower term time frame momentum oscillators and see if they agree with what we're saying over here. So daily is obviously up again as long as above about 49,350 or so. 12-hour is going to be up as long as above about 51,000 bucks. 4-hour is going to be up as long as above 51,300. Bi-hourly is down actually as long as below about 51,750, and hourly is flippy floppy right now as well, but will remain up as long as above about 51,450 as well. So keep those areas in mind. Certainly keep those areas in mind, and kind of now would be a good time to actually go through the lower term timeframes and adjust where the other sort of warning flags would be. And that actually this makes complete sense right here. 51,000 bucks right here. So basically, let me actually mark these off so that we can document these going onwards and forwards too. This is not relevant towards what I'm talking about right now. Let's put one right around 49. Let's just do this spike right there. That should be good enough for an hourly. So there's kind of like the orders of operations for the time being. And of course, we should also be aware of the old rocks in the sky right now too. And we actually do officially have a bear moon, I believe, coming in a little bit later tonight. So do be aware of that. If you believe in the old rocks in the sky. For the people who don't, well, fair enough. I mean, there's there's plenty of reason not to, I guess. But then again, whenever I look at this chart, it's a humble reminder to Mr. Krown to not discount things that sound silly. But well, as far as results go, this was better than I traded in the past year. I mean, this has got a better than 90% strike rate. My personal strike rate's like low 70s. So, that's significantly better actually. So I've actually created a small dollar account just to trade the moon cycles. And I don't think I need to say this right now, but it's doing rather well, which is just like, all right, I'll just throw everything out the fucking window right now and look at this from now on. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Anyways, what else do we want to get into before we get into the old comments there? Let's see what we got going on over here. That's right. We do have, okay, yeah, we already spoke about the weekly level from yesterday. That'd be a little more on the bear side, obviously, but I don't think it's actionable just yet. Again, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to be looking for any sort of like legitimized downside, especially as long as it's above 51. And then I'd really say like low 49s is kind of where the major areas come in around. Anyways, let's see, how deep into this video are we? 31 minutes already. So you know what? I'm gonna go over here and actually, should I show that? Actually, I don't know if I show that. I should probably ask Mr. Coop first. I don't know if Mr. Coop is here. Mr. Meckin, you around, sir? Anyways, I'll wait for you to answer if you're here or not. Until then, I'll just leave it on the regular charts for right now. And we shall proceed. Oh yes, we should probably check out traditional markets. In fact, this would be a good time because I already know Mr. King Cosmic is already here. Where is I readjusted all of my listies over here as well. Where the fuck did I put it? There it is, found it. SPY. Okay, so what did we say yesterday? We said it's in a bit of a bouncy area. We got a bit of a bounce. I do think that this one very likely will bounce a little bit higher. I think that this one's been beat up to the downside enough here, and probably does get a pity bounce over the next few days, probably into end of week. I do like this level at around the 42.60 to 42.65 region for a bit of a short-term, medium-term base, and should very likely rally off this region. Although short-term time frame still looking pretty weak here, to be fair. Let's see. Hourly right here could make a bit of a range actually. In fact, this one's rather simple. God damn it! Let's just look at the hourly right here. There we go. 4,300 or so. As long as we're above there, I would be looking for this one to actually complete the short-term reversal back above about 43.56 or so, and then initiate daily targets somewhere back around upper 43s, like 43.80 to 43.90 or so, and then come back after that. Obviously, it would be invalidated pretty much like very, very quickly right now if we do go back down below about 4,300. And I'd be looking for another swipe of the lows. And well, at that point, I mean, we still got lower highs and lower lows, and got to follow the trend at that point. But realistically, this one's been beat to shit, and it's in some kind of bouncy areas right here. While I do suspect that over time, I strongly believe actually this one's going to come down to like low 4,000s. There's going to be bounce along the way, and perhaps we're in the midst of another short-term one for right now. Let's see if Nasdaq agrees with that actually. Yep, pretty much. Daily is not as strong as SPY right there. Let's actually go through it once again. Hold on. Maybe I'm missing something right here. I mean, NAS is actually a lot more obviously bearish in this case. It is in a bit of a bouncy area as well in the weekly, but that bounce has already been massively questioned, man. Holy shit, that looks ugly. That looks ugly. Again, long term, do I think that this one comes down to like 13.5 or 13.6? Yes, I do. Do I think it comes even lower than that? Perhaps yes, to 12.6 if things really get nasty. But I don't know. Is this one likely to bounce here or not? Are you bouncing or not? Probably does bounce a little bit first, to be fair. Where would I invalidate this one? Very, very similar to NASDAQ in this case, below 14.550, and I'd be looking for another retest of lows and probably continuation after that. I mean, we do have this one looks fucking ugly, man. Holy shit. If I want to be bearish, I'm looking at this chart right here. Here's the thing, though. We see something that we've never really seen in the, in especially cryptocurrency landscapes before. We see that Bitcoin is not positively correlated. It's not negatively correlated with traditional markets. It has apparently no correlation right now. So that is incredibly interesting to me, especially at a pivotal moment like this. It's not just like the markets are trading sideways and just gliding up. We're actually seeing like some really, really concerning things over here in traditional markets. In Bitcoin, just doing its own thing. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's negatively correlated. It's just doing its own thing, essentially, which is important because we're seeing a maturation of this market, I believe. And that's good. I mean, you'd expect that after, all this time, baby, all this fucking time. Anyways, okay, I think it's time to get into the chatties right now. Let me put this back on over here. I'll turn on the alerts as well. There we go. Lovely. What's up, Haplon? I see you over there, man. And let me see what else I has ready for myself as well. There we go. Nothing, huh? What's up, Josh? Good morning to you, man. Axes. Okay, let's check this one out. You're looking at an hourly now. So interesting. Typically, I know that you like to hang out in the higher term timeframes. Curious why you decided to go to the lower term timeframes on this one. Very toppy on the higher term timeframes. Yes. Holy shit. Fuck, man. Let's see. Oh, didn't save my chart here. What the hell? Hey, why no save chart? Why no save chart, man? There we go. Yeah, spiked up to the 3618 at 150. Toppy right there. Comes back down. This one very likely actually played. Well, it's already made it down to 115, so probably bounced around here a little bit. Anyways, you're asking about the hourly specifically. You do have a bit of a bounce going on right now. Of course, this one is still long-term, like long-term, very, very good. However, in the short term, what are we likely to do here? Well, probably carry on the bounce a little bit more, to be fair. Let's actually see what the 4 hour looks like. Not super titillating right there. Hourly is getting beat up to shit, to be fair. Probably looking for a bounce back up somewhere around your 136 level or so. Play out a bit of a sideways region from that. And, well, invalidation below about 121 and 121 actually even. And I'd be looking for another move all the way down to 105, 106 region. I do think that this one has topped out for a while now, though. This is my first top call on axes. I've been bullish on this one for a very, very long time on the higher term timeframes. This is my first time where I'd say this one is starting to get rather toppy, actually, and probably does, at the very least, play out some sideways and down for the next month or so. There will be bounces along the way, obviously, but I do think that this one actually is somewhat done for the time being, meaning no new highs for, not like every fucking day like usual, right? Anyways, looking at this right here, probably bounce first, man. Can very easily bounce back up to 135. After that, I really don't have a strong proclivity towards continuation or not. My strong opinions are on as long as you're below about 143.5. I do look at this one as very, very likely to trade sideways and down from here with targets down to about 100 even or so. That should be the next sort of medium-term bounce. Right now, this is only short-term time frame stuff. I mean, this one's already kind of coughing it up relatively fast. If I'm trading my personal strategy, by the way, on the hourly, this would be pretty aggressive, but this would be a short entry right here, and the target would be actually down to 1 teens essentially. So take that for what it's worth. I mean, it is just short-term time frame, but yeah, all time frames under pressure right here. Actually, let's go over here. I do want to check what this one's looking like right now. I suspect, again, it really wouldn't take too much to get this baby to bounce just a little bit. 143 shown right there as well. Yeah, downside is the name of the game as long as you're below about 145, I believe it is. However, short term, probably puts in one more bounce and then keels on over down to the low 100s later this week. Again, very, very long term. Like if we're looking at the monthly, very good chart, amazing chart long term. But I do expect that we've seen the highs for now. I think that we've seen the highs for a while actually. What's up, King Cosmic? Good morning to you. Yep, we already got SPY, so we're good there, man. Let me know if you wanted to look at anything like super specific though, and we'll go back to it. Mr. Wally, good morning to you as well, sir. Peaceful and healthy. Yes, that's what we can all want, man. Just peacefulness and healthfulness, and it's like something that's also attainable for everyone as well. Badger, Badger. Okay, I'm not familiar with this one. Is this a? It is a thing. All right, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's a fucking thing, huh? Actually, pretty good. Another, I'm going to guess, well, is this a meme token or not? I don't know. Either which way, took out the last prior high right there. I would be looking for extension somewhere around about 26.5 or so. Looks good overall. Short-term timeframes, however, which I don't, oh yeah, you are looking at a 4 right here. Would I be saying the same thing? A little bit of sideways in the short-term timeframes, yes. Base at about $21, and that would also be in validation below there as well. As long as you're above about 21, I do look for this trade sideways and up to about $28 or so. Maybe even extends that one over time. This is a decent move right here, to be fair, so should respect it. So hopefully that was helpful, sir, and there you go, man. Josh is back. I feel as I don't get short time frames as good as I get longer time frames. Any good insight if my question even makes sense? Yeah, let me first take a sip of this water. I'd actually like to record this one. Oh, the Badger dance. The Badger dance. There you go. Thomas Love says, I watch Krown every day for months and months, but only comment when I'm drunk. Well, you know what? Good evening. Or it's a little bit early in the morning to be getting drunk right now, man. All right. So here we have a great question from Mr. Josh himself. And he's asking, I feel as I don't get, or he's stating, I feel as I don't get short-term timeframes as good as I get longer-term timeframes. Any good insight? If my question even makes sense. Yeah, it makes perfect sense, actually. So as always, you do have to separate different timeframes out. Obviously, there's going to be different things going on in different timeframes. But to the point of your question, because I do know you rather well, and I know your style rather well, I know that you started off on the higher term timeframes. You've had phenomenal success with higher term timeframes. I mean, very, 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 very impressive stuff, which is amazing. I always want to call that out as just really, really good. But the question is, how do I kind of transfer that into the lower term timeframe? So in general, and I wouldn't even say in general, I strongly believe this. Lower term timeframes and higher term timeframes, there's no real difference there between what strategy that you should, between the strategy that you're using. Technically speaking, your strategy on a higher term timeframe should translate into a lower term timeframe and vice versa there as well. The difference is that your strategy will very likely have a lower hit rate on a lower term timeframe. So what is probably putting you off, and I'm kind of guessing here because you didn't necessarily say this, but I'm going to guess that what's probably putting you off is that the lower term timeframes are going to be a little bit more shaky in retrospect to like a daily, weekly, monthly, which is what I know that you typically watch. So those signals on the lower term timeframes are going to come a lot, quicker. And the problem with them is that they're going to, while they do come a lot quicker and a lot more, a lot more just of them, you're going to get a lot more variance in your success, meaning that you're going to have a lot more, your win percentage is going to go down, but at the trade-off at the trade of getting more entries. So technically speaking, it should be somewhat similar over time, but how much time can that take? Because on a higher term time frame, how often do you get a signal on a weekly or a monthly, for example? Not very often, maybe on a weekly, once every couple months in some cases, which I know that you're very, very patient with your trades. And, that is why those higher term time frames are actually really well suited for someone like you and your mentality. For someone who is at their computer all day, who has the time to invest, who has the time to to basically play the video game of trading, which is the best video game of all time in my opinion. It has financial consequences, so technically make a living off of it if you do really put your mind to it. But you'll have to really be there in order to take advantage of all those, because here's the thing: when you're on the higher term timeframes, you're probably taking all of these signals that you get, and that's easy to do because you're not getting too much of them. But when you're on the lower term timeframes, you kind of still need to take pretty much all the signals that you get, because if you understand the way that statistics are actually working for you, you will understand that the more iterations of those signals that you do take, the better it's going to be, the more even it's going to be for you over time. So that's kind of the mental switch that you go into. But realistically, there's not really a difference, right? So if I'm trading my strategy over here, which this is, no, that's not my strat. God damn it, where's my damn strategy? Let me just pull it up right here. Like I can show you exactly how I would translate this myself, right? So this, by the way, I do use high, low, and close bars. Just it's actually the way that I do that I did learn. So I'll be over here on the hourly, right? And I'm looking at my strategy right now. Okay, very simple stuff, right? These sort of signals over here, I'm basically looking for a cross between the 21 and 55, and then I'll essentially long after a test of the 21, and essentially it holds. So I'll be longing over here, and maybe even again over here, and I'll be managing on the 55. And this one seems to work out, but you can see over here, well, I mean, actually, it still kind of keeps you in the trade, to be fair. This is a bad example because all of these work out, and I don't want them to. I want to show failures. Well, fuck it, man. Anyways, my point is that, in that time frame there, there was like four or five different signals. They all technically did work out, but I wanted to show a bunch of failures, which unfortunately didn't get. Look, it's not a perfect strategy. Like, I do take losses, enough. Like I said, my hit rate is like low 70s, if, on a good day, I'll say. Anyways, daily over here, though, how many signals do you see over here? You don't really actually see any, in fact. In fact, you literally don't see any. Where's the last daily signal? Way back on over here. So you get one shot, you get one opportunity, and then you're just basically waiting. So it really depends on your sort of trading personality and what you actually want to do. So, while you do seem like you want to learn the lower term timeframes, understand there's not really a difference there. It's just being more active, I suppose. So hopefully that was helpful, man. And maybe if like you have something a little bit more directed, I can go off of that as well. But hopefully that was helpful as a starter. And yeah, man, we can always chat it up on Discord as well. There you go. Nice one, man. Okay, cool. Elsa, stop sending me irrelevant shit. Dak says DYDX. Oh, you like Excision, don't you? Oh, nice one, man. Elsa has not learned of any other new mix besides Excision's Lost Lands mix, and she's been playing the same fucking mix for like for way too long. Look, I love Excision too, but it's like, goddamn, man, expand your horizons. There's so many others out there. Is it good for the millionth and first time? Actually, oh, it is. Okay, well, fair enough. Anyway, let's go over here. DYDX. Let's actually do this one. Here we have DYDX. I think this one's rather popular right now. And it's being requested by Mr. Dak. He's asking for a daily and weekly. I don't know if that's going to be helpful here. Yeah, daily barely has any price action history. A weekly is going to have a lot less, obviously. So this is not helpful, to be honest with you. What I can do is I can go through the lower term timeframes, of which I would be looking for a bit of a bounce off to the current level that we're looking at. Very obviously trading sideways here. Yield. Let me just get rid of that. We don't even need it right now. Nice and simple for the time being. And I would be looking for a rally off this region, very likely short term back to about 22.69 or so. I expect that you're not interested in short term because you're asking about daily and weekly. But look, man, I mean, this thing's been around for less than a month. There is no daily or weekly to really look at in my book. I would be bullish on this thing, looking for new all-time highs yet again, back above about 24. So we do see, or do we see? We do see. No, we do not see, actually. I was going to say that we potentially see some hidden bullish evidence. That would be good. What about on bi-hourly right here as well? Nope, no, we do not. And daily, what do we see right here as well? Well, yeah, nothing. Maybe a 12 I can give us something. I'd still be looking for this one to trade a bit sideways here. Probably does pull through. I'd really only get bearish on this one below about 21 and a quarter in this case. 21 and a quarter, send it back down to about 19 bucks or so, and maybe call a medium-term top. But for right now, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. It's been acting rather well. Let's go check it out on Momentum Also it is over here too. But basically, I'd be looking for a bit of a short-term bounce. Invalidation below about 21 bucks. Hourly is going to turn back up above 23 and a half, or sorry, 4 hours going to turn back above, turn back up above 23 and a half. Buy hourly is going to be up above 22 and a quarter. It looks like we're right around there right now, and hourly is going to be turning up on the hour at 21.83 or so. So I'd give it a chance to bounce first and kind of fill out this area a little bit more, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, and then come back to it later. Unfortunately, higher term timeframes are just unhelpful in this regard, but more or less bouncy here. And I'd really only be worried about this one below about 21 and a quarter. And, you know, at that point, looking for a retracement down to about 19 bucks or so. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for DYDX, sir. What's up, BK? I got you, man. Luna USD for our daily weekly. Okay, we got Terra Luna. This one's probably recordable as well. What were we looking at this one for yesterday? I forget, man. I forget. Still a pretty damn good chart long term. See, what about... God damn it. Get all these nasty... Uh-oh. Here we have Terra Luna, symbol LUNA versus the dollar. We are on a 5-day right now. And I want to do general overview on this one from Mr. BK. We are looking at potentially a little bit of a toppity top going on right now, as we do see with 1 day left to go. So that means tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, if this thing closes basically anywhere below about 42.5, that would be your nice little shooting star dildo right there at the highs, and probably does beget a bit of a retracement down to your $27.50 levels. Anyways, with that in mind, let's go down to the daily over here. Short-term downside angled as well. Very likely does make its way down to about 40 bucks and tries for a bounce there. Daily RSI rejecting the bullish control zone and actually below the exponential right now as well. We do see no, they're super interesting things on the daily actually. 12-hour, same thing. Yeah, very likely coming down to about 40 to 40.5 bucks and tries for a bounce there. I do not believe that the bounce is going to hold actually. 4-hour, same thing as well. What about and hourly here too? Yeah, same thing here too. Yeah, all time frames showing a bit of downside. So let's actually go over here and see if momentum oscillators do agree with that as well. Here we got daily will be down below 45.5 bucks closing tonight. 12-hour will be down below 45.5. 4-hour down as long as below 46, and hourly, yeah, down as well. So I do think that we're actually looking at a bit of a toppy top being put in right here. Very likely makes its way down to 40 bucks, probably bounce there, and then depending upon how the 5-day closes tomorrow, I will extend downside targets all the way to 27 bucks. Coming into like the next week or two. Overall, though, I want to be on record as saying this is still among the best charts in cryptocurrency land long term. Very, very good. Just can it afford a bit of a pullback? Yeah, absolutely. Where my validation be, more importantly for something like this, back above 46.5 very easily. In fact, if you're going from momentum oscillators, you can even say 45. 45.5 to be exact in this case, although I don't necessarily think that it's happening, but this one can afford a bit of a pullback after a very, very nice run, actually. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Terra Luna. Oh, Mr. Faraz, it's Battlefield Day today. It's actually a pretty damn big day today. It's not just Battlefield Day. I also get to go check out our new house that we're going to move into next year. So we get to check it out and then still can't move into it for like almost another year, actually. But pretty damn excited for that, man. And then going to do some Battlefield action. Maybe might even get on Twitch as well. See how my voice is feeling by that point, man. And good morning to you, man. The Boo Frank says, hello, Miss Krown. What's up, man? Can you check out CRM 4-hour and daily? Sure. Sure. This is Cream or Irver. No, it's nothing. Oh, you're talking about Salesforce. You're talking about like a real stock. Okay, we got some real over here. It's good. It's good. What time frames are you looking at, man? 4-hour and daily. Okay, interesting choice. I mean, long term, this one's, we have another just straight up fucking melt your face to the moon and beyond. Dear Lord, man. Yeah, this is that is fucking powerful, man. Short term, I do suspect it gives you another try towards 267.5 or so. But this is not bearish, man. I don't even know if I would even be looking for that in the short term time frames anyways. Now that I go down to here, this one fills a gap and rallies back up. I'd be looking for next move up, actually 276. This one's a long-term bullish. Obviously, the question is, does this one get one more correction down to like 260 before going for new all-time highs or not? I am not so sold on that. If I'm looking at the weekly, it says no. If I'm looking at the monthly, it says no as well. Long-term, I'm looking towards new all-time highs, man, into November. We look for right here. Probably looking north of 300 bucks too, somewhere around 300 to 320-ish region actually into end of year. Invalidation on this would very obviously be below about 255 in this case. In the short term, I don't really have a strong, I really don't have a strong opinion about this. If I had to call it, I actually do think that it will very likely rally from here. This is incredibly constructive, man. The way that it comes back down and fills like each and every move, that is really, really good long term, actually. So short term timeframes would be the only ones that I'd really be looking for a pullback. I have no concern about this thing as long as you're above, again, what was it, 260 or 255. So hopefully that's helpful, man. What's up, Flynn? Good morning to you as well, sir. Hare says Dumpola. Does it really? Oh, well, what if we just changed it? Ow, what the fuck? It feels weird. like little strings from a haystack or something. Can we have a look at EGLD in the mid to long term? Sure. This is Elrond of Rivendell is back in the house. Let's see what he's doing right now. I don't know when I made this chart, but it's still working pretty damn well, although it looks like I was charting about a lot of the short-term timeframes there. Let's just do a few ones, the only ones that we really need right now. Got some like this going on. And we got something like that going on. Here we have Elrond symbol EGLD versus the dollar, and we'll do a general overview on this one. And long term, you know, again, among the best charts in cryptocurrency land right now. We are getting a little bit of short-term downside signals. However, daily is showing a bit of phantom div right there, and also rejecting the bullish control zone, and also failing below the exponential as well. I wouldn't mind another move down to the 55, right around $200 or so. That'd still be on the rising bottoms and still be very, very long-term good. I have no concerns about this thing for the long term, as long as it's above about 194, just your last little spike low. Below there, yeah, I would be looking for deeper corrections back down to about 150, 140 region. Until then, you know, this is a very, very strong chart. It's again certainly among some of the best charts in cryptocurrency land right now. If we go down to the very low term timeframes, are we playing out you know, a short term pullback? Very likely yes. Again, anywhere down around low 200s, 200 to 215 or so is kind of where I'd be looking towards, and likely looking for a bounce around there. Confirmation of another breakout in this case, you know, very likely the new all-time highs would be back above just this little slew of highs right here at about 260 or so, and probably look for this one to melt up yet again. Yeah, that is a powerful chart. Let's go check it out over here. I'm just curious to see what other much small traders are suggesting on this one. Hourly is going to be down as long as below 239. Yep. Okay. So short term down. 4 hour also below 247. So yep. Short term, medium term down. 12 hour actually also down as long as below 252. And daily will turn down with a closure today below 239. So yeah, short term, medium term, very likely coming back down. I would again only express caution on the long term, as if you do take out about 195 to the downside. Until then, just looking for a move somewhere down around here, and hopefully a strong bounce in the low 200s, and hopefully that was helpful for Elrond. And there you go, sir. Nice one. All right, Nero Strudden, what's up, man? Bruh, rent is due. And I'm all in on OMG. Can we check the daily and 4 hour? All right, Omisi go. Oh man, Omisi fucking go. Omisi go fuck yourself. How about that? Pretty good, man. Can't hate this chart right here. Can we get some pullbacks down to like 1275 or so? Yes, absolutely. Probably does bounce around there. I'm gonna guess that's around your last little low. Yes, it is. 12 and a half to 1275 is where I'm looking towards. I would really only look for this one to be a failed, not necessarily a failure, but basically a rug pull. I'd call a rug pull below, especially this level right here at about 12 and a quarter. Let's call it. That's where I start to get really, really concerned for this one. That is my rug pull levels. Until then, short term down, yes, very likely tries for a bounce off of upper 12s, low 13s in this case, probably like 1275 to 13 even or so. 4 hour, what are we looking for right here? Yeah, short term down. I mean, short term, it very likely is extending the move to the downside. Probably looking, yeah, low 13s or so. 12 hour, what do we see right here? Same thing. Probably a bounce in between there as well at about 13 and a half. I do not think that bounce will hold, but you know, could be a nice little bounce back up into the mid 14s or so. Weekly, yeah, the weekly's not bearish, man. The weekly's pretty damn good. Monthly, same thing as well. Selling off on the retest of your pro all-time highs. I mean, that's to be expected, right? You know, I'd just be looking for short-term, medium-term pullbacks here, and then very likely rallies off that level. And Bitcoin might even be leading the party right here, right now. Powerful, girthy, green dildos in my motherfucking face. What's up, Michael Lee? Short-term time frame, XRP, thanks. Don't know what that means to you, man, but I'm going to look at a 4 hour in and out. Actually, let's just do a general overview on this one. People love the ripples, baby. People love the ripples. All right, let's see if they're going to love what I'm going to say about the ripples. More importantly, Ripple Crew does not like bearishness about Ripple, but good for them. It's actually not really bearish here. Here we have Ripple symbol XRP versus the dollar, and we have actually a decent setup right here. In fact, certainly not bearish as long as you're above about 102. Below 102, yeah, I'd be looking for this one to correct heavily down to 90 cents. That'd be kind of my conditions for rug pull-ology right there, if you want to call it that. All of the time frames though showing I suppose goodness right here. Let's look at a 4 hour right now. Actually, 4 hour. Giving us some drives of bearish divergence come off the last high. However, I suspect that again, that's not really good for more than just a short-term move here. Could bring it back down to about 105 or so. That again, that's not really concerning for the daily just yet. The daily is only concerning below, as I said, about 102 for myself. And at that point, I'll be looking at this as a bit of a rug pull. And that'd actually be a really, really nasty move, just because not only would we have a lower high, but we'd also have hidden bearish evidence on the daily as well. And first target would be down to about 98 cents. I don't think things would stop there. I think things would come down to 90 cents after that point. Short-term time frames like an hourly. Little bit of sideways and down, probably works its way back down, about to 105 ish region and tries for a bouncy bounce there. Let's go over here. Let's see what we got right now. XRP, what are you doing, sir? Daily's going to be up as long as above 104. Okay, interesting. So below 102 and a half, that's going to be problematic. 12 hour will actually turn down below about 106 and a half. So again, medium term corrective here. 4 hour below about 105, and I would be looking for bounce around there. If you do fail 105, that's going to be your first major warning signal below 105. Below 105, I would be looking for a test down to 103 to 102 and a half. Pray to Boolah Jesus for a bounce there. Otherwise, this baby gets to fall back down to its prior lows and tries to reaccumulate at the 90-cent level, I suppose. But hopefully that was helpful for Ripple. And there you go. I should also talk about, upside targets if this one does actually break out and do some busting action to the upside above about 108 and a half. So I apologize for the disgusting laughs in the background. There's nothing funny about that. Busting action is the what's funny about bust.
Stop.
Anyways, I'd be looking for a move back around about 114 or so if you do take out the current highs. Until then, corrective short term and medium term sideways and down. Hope for bounces above about 102 and a half, and hopefully that was helpful for Ripple me nipples over there. Nice one, man. Let's see. Trench Norden says, HTR Hathor Network 4 on daily. And we went deep inside the drawer today. Deep inside the shitcoin drawer. This one already looks like it's putting... Oh, this is a 4 hour right here. Yeah, why do you laugh like that? Why do you sound like a bird? Oh, you. All right. Imagine listening to that all day. Let's see. What do we have over here for Hathor? Let's see, what time frames are you looking at? First off, 4 hour and daily. Daily, fine as long as you're closing above about basically 3/4. 4 hour, however, is looking a little bit short-term toppy, man, and I actually would express caution on this one. If you see a 4 hour close below 73 cents, I think that this one's just printed your next lower high and comes back down to, probably back down below 70, back down to this low over here at about 65, 66 cents. At that point, would you have hidden bearish evidence on the daily? I'm sure you would. Yes, indeed you would. Let's just double check. Yep, you would. Probably extend those targets down to low 60s if that were to happen. So I would say that that's really only actionable with a 4 hour closure below about 73 cents in this case. Pray for a bounce solo right there, because otherwise this volatility expansion is going to come to the downside, man. It's not going to look fucking good. 5 day, long term, not bad. It's certainly not like the worst shitcoin chart of all time, and I don't even know if this is shitcoin. I use that as a term of endearment, just for what it's worth. But in this case right here, I mean, this can get a lot worse, man. If Bitcoin actually does shit the bed, this thing will come down really, really fucking hard. But just be aware of the red flag areas. Is kind of what I'd say on this one. 73 cents. Pray for a bounce solo right there. If you start to close 4 hour dildos below there, that's where I'd start to say, all right, get ready for a move down to mid to low 60s, and that's, well, I'll just leave it right there, man. Where would I say this one's like generally good for a short-term move to the upside, back above about 70, basically the slew of highs right here above about 78 and a half or so, and I'd be looking for a nice move all the way up to almost 90 cents or so. Hopefully that was helpful, and there you go, sir. And Bitcoin might even just lead the way for you too. Bitcoin, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You highly esteemed piece of technology. You being used in all sorts of countries now as well, man. I heard that Brazil. No, I already spoke about this yesterday, but yeah, Shubbo told me about Brazil, who is introducing legislation to use Bitcoin, perhaps even as legal tender. It sounds like so. Pretty interesting stuff, man. It's kind of hard to get details on those because who knows who has like the actual insider information on that. But it does, at least from a bunch of news sources, which again, I don't know if they're trustworthy or not, they have suggested that it will be treated as legal tender there, which would be kind of a big deal. But Brazil just is a big deal in general, just because they have one of the largest economies in the world, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but they actually are kind of big time. And they also got Brazilian steakhouses too. So I will happily feed that economy myself. Anyways, what's up, Martin Hunt? Can we look at KDA on the daily, especially on KuCoin? The chart we looked at yesterday looked quite different. Much love. Okay, let's see. So let's just see. So I went to Bittrex on that one because I expect it's going to have more long-term history. Let's just see if that's going to be true. All right, so this one goes back to May of this year. Bittrex goes back to June 2020. I would argue that you really want to be looking at the chart that has more history, man. When you get less history, you just get it's going to be less helpful, especially because I know that you, based off your comments yesterday, are looking for long-term time frame plays, and I actually think that I should kind of speak towards that for a second. So and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, and this is not to put you on the spot like at all, just as a general sort of I guess PSA, if you will. Fucking stupid terminology, but basically, you asking, okay, Krown said that KDA looks pretty damn good on the higher term timeframes, but I'm noticing that the hourly is redlining on BBWP, and I want to invest for like the next 2 to 3 months. Look, man, if you're thinking months down the road, you should not even have a fucking hourly on your charts, man. If you're trading like if you're looking to hold like 2 to 3 months, you should be operating on the weekly as like your main driver, and lowest time frame you even fucking look at is a daily. And there's absolutely, nothing bearish about this chart right here. It's very, 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 very good. I mean, this chart is strong as all hell as long as you're above about $1.70 or so. And I'll still be saying the same things as yesterday. I think that this one continues onwards and forwards, man. And again, if you're going to be looking at long-term, if you're going to be looking to hold this one for a long-term time, you want the chart with the longest term history. And you certainly want it for this one because you know that it's pretty fucking good chart, actually. It makes higher highs and higher lows. It generally trends to the upside. That's good. Most things do not, man. And that actually speaks quite a fair bit towards the strength of this highly esteemed asset, perhaps. So keep that in mind, man, when you're when you're perusing around things, because there's really just no reason to be looking at a fucking hourly if you're like investing for even like a few weeks down the road, let alone a few months, or let alone a few years in some cases as well. It's only going to be noise to you, and it's not going to be very helpful. It's like the same thing as, I'm trying to make an analogy, but I don't have a good analogy on the tip of my tongue right now, but fair enough, man. Hopefully that comes through clear, because you're gonna give yourself a lot of fucking headache by looking at lower term timeframes when you're trading, months down the road. It's just, they're not going to be that useful in your particular purposes. This is not like a generalized thing. This is just because I know that you want to do that for a long term time. Anyways, looking at or what did you actually want me to look at over here? You want to look at it on the daily. Again, man, KuCoin is just, you want more history. More history is always better. Always. There is no situation where I would not rather have more long-term history, especially if I'm looking for a long-term trade. Compare this chart that goes all the way back to June 2020. It's like not even that long, anyways. With the other one that only goes back to like May of this year. That's not what we want. Anyways, looking at this right here, man, it's still good. I have no concerns about this one long term, as long as you're above $1.70, or yeah, about $1.70 in this case. Weekly, good as well. I mean, that's really the time frame that you should be on, to be honest with you. If you're looking months down the road, full hour, is it going to pull back? Yeah, probably. It's going to very likely to pull back. So probably back down below $2. But the problem is, if you're on the hourly, you're going to freak out about that. If you look at this on a daily, no problem. No problem at all. Anyways, let's go over here and see what this looking like from a momentum perspective, and just out of curiosity, we'll come up with a few things. Well, hourly's obviously down. We need to get out. It's going to the fucking zero. Daily up as long as above $1.73. Interesting how that number pops up right fucking there, huh? What do we see over here? BBWP increasing. So we got volatility, we got trend continuation, we got momentum. I'm looking at further north in this case, and come up with some areas of interest. Probably does play at a nice pullback from your 235 to 240 region, but long term, wouldn't be surprised to see this thing around end of year above $3 or so. It's good, man. It's fucking good. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. Bullish as long as above 170, below 170. Get ready for the ruggening. Get ready for the ruggening, baby. What's up, Jero? Hey, Krown, SHIB, USD. Oh man, don't make me look at this chart again. I don't remind myself of how fucking wrong I was on this thing. It actually did hit my continuation target of 2000. I don't trust these charts at all, man. Okay, so how do you kind of judge when these things are getting overdone? When it comes to the meme tokens, I don't think that there is a really good way to be doing it. To be fair, BBWP on a daily is way up there. I don't know how trustworthy that is, because there's just not much data. 12 hours a little more trustworthy right here, because we did see a reset pretty much all the way down to single digits, and yeah, that one's redline as well. Don't think this one has too much more I'd be very surprised to see it make one more leg up to 28.50. That'll be my next continuation target. Until then, man, I do not trust these charts. But you're looking at a 1 hour and 4 hour. We can do that probably a little bit better. Hourly still good. You know, trend resumes as long as above 1900 or so. 4 hour, same shit. Hidden bullish evidence on the last low. This one probably does continue from here. It looks like it might have one more run. I would express severe caution with like a daily below 2000 in this case. Other than that, you know, I really don't think I have a good idea on these particular charts. They're just gonna do what the fuck they're gonna do, man. It's just like the Hodge twins, right? You're gonna do what the fuck you want to do. Leave the nuts hanging out. Trent Norton says ZCX Unizen. Okay, 4 on daily. All right, did I get that right? ZCX. Sorry, ZCX. I don't think I've ever looked at this one. This one's a new one for me. Unizen. All right. And you're looking at a what, sir? 4 hour and daily. Everyone's favorite. Sorry, daily good. Daily good. Probably looking at a move back up to about 589, 590-ish region. Long term, this is good, or at least for the 3 months of history that we have. But hey, it's better than less than 3 months. Short term, does this thing pull back a little bit? No, I think you're ready for a bit of a continuation move to 589 or 590-ish region. BBWP increasing. We see 4 hour hidden bullish evidence. We see 4 hour jewel suggesting some upside. Invalidation on this one would be back below about 530 or so. Until then, I'm looking generally north and probably does even break out the top side long term. I mean, this is a pretty good setup on the daily, to be fair. I would prefer more history here, and of course, whatever Bitcoin does, this thing's going to generally mirror. But Bitcoin's bullish right now. I can't really look at any sort of bearish setups as actionable, especially as long as Bitcoin's above $51,000, man. The path of least resistance to the upside. Tokyo channel, there he is. Yes, we got it. Oh wow, now I have my name, so now I can put my name together. Oh man, I'm gonna engrave that on my new sword. I need to buy that sword too. Oh. Yeah, oh my god over there. That's exactly what you're going to be saying when you see my sword. Hope all is well with you too, sir. I apologize for the laughing in the background. This is not funny business, and there's nothing absolutely, this is a very serious day with magic internet money, and this is a very serious topic actually as well. Dollar yen. Okay, Japan just selected a new prime minister on Monday. Really? What is his sort of MO? Like, what is he kind of known for? What is he expected to do? Well, he's expected to, I guess, debase maybe the yen a little bit more, because dollar is still, I'm still bullish as fuck on this thing, man. Still bullish as fuck on this. 113.35 is where I'm looking towards, and I don't think it stops there long term, man. This is a fucking phenomenal setup. Golden cross right here on extremely low volatility, weekly reversal all along the same pain, and hidden bullish evidence on weekly as well. Monthly, even better. Bullish as fuck, man. Bullish as fuck. So you're looking mid to long, so that'd be probably long. Medium term, probably more on a daily. I mean, this one looks like it's ready to go on a daily as well, man. Maybe invalidate it for one more move back down below 110 if you do take out 111 to the downside. But I suspect that this one's actually ready to roll from here, man. This one's really, really mature. 5-day tells a story, weekly tells a story, monthly tells a story. Long term, I do think this thing's going to find its way like much further up, maybe in around 120 in like the next couple of years. But very fucking good, man. What's up, Axk? Oh, nice. All right, sweet. Thanks, sir, man. I just wanted to check. I didn't know if this was like any proprietary stuff. So it's a public. Okay, sweet. Yeah, man. I just wanted to bring this up over here, just showing like all of these trades coming in and everything. What I found really, really interesting, and thank you for that, Meccan. What I find really interesting about this is that you can separate these spot trades versus the perp trades, and you'll notice a few interesting things. First off, Coinbase seems to know direction really, really well. And then you can also look at spot CBD delta versus perp CBD delta. Also get some liquidation information over here as well, which is kind of interesting just for kind of pain points in this case. Just kind of like verify those. But this in combination with what I was kind of postulating over here with the open interest and global leverage ratio, these are the things that I'm really watching right now to kind of give a general bias as to where we might come into a bit of issues. Still think this one can go for another ride here before a lot of those things come to fruition. So So hopefully the pullback won't have to be as low as what I was considering last week. So that would, long-term good thing. Anyways, Mr. AxeK says FTM hourly and daily. Sure. All right, let's check this one out. USD. Let's see what we got over here. Phantom, looking good on the monthly, but that's probably not what you're looking for. You're looking for an hourly and daily. Daily's looking good. Daily's looking pretty good, actually. If you're going down to an hourly, short term, very likely rallies back up to 140 or so. I do think that this one's actually probably nearly done with its current correction. I mean, this one's been under a reaccumulation going back to middle of September. I'd even say that the reaccumulation is over, and this one's ready for a run towards prior all-time highs back above about 145 or so. Even on like a 4-hour in this case, this is good. 4-hour BBWP on the floor right here. One's very likely ready to move today. Actually, last time that we saw it right here in that current region, got a nice little move. This one actually producing about 20% immediately, and then over time about 30% or so. It's good. It's very, very good long term. Obviously, the question is it ready right now or not? And I don't have any reasons to be looking for a rug pull here or anything like that. As long as you're above about $1.14, let's say, direction's up on this baby. But let's go over here and see what this one looks like. Well, let's just see. Daily's up as long as above about 142. Okay, so I would say that if this one does fail to continue, preferably today, but at latest tomorrow, I will look for this one to actually do a little bit of medium-term rugging over here. 4 hours up as long as above 139. Okay, so building right there as well. And hourly is up above 137.7. So I'm kind of putting all the pieces together here. Yeah, I basically don't. I would even say big caution below about 132 until then. Short term, give it a chance to rally back up. Now that I look at it, 4-hour Joule is a hodl your short signal. I'm inclined to go with the bullish with the bullish way first here, but I would rapidly change below 132.5 actually, and that's gonna carry on into a lot of things on the daily. And probably more long-term would imply a correction down to about 106. Until then, though, again, I'd give it a chance to continue first. I'd preferably like to see it today, intraday, latest tomorrow. If that fails to happen, I would be looking for the downside to occur. But for right now, short-term, I'd give it a chance to bounce and then come back to it a little bit later today. Cool. I'll actually put it back on over here as well because this is, I don't know, man. It's very soothing to see everything come through. Let's see. Burnt Krown, what's up, man? Link, please, on the daily. Sure. All right, we got a link over here. Dinky dinky. Let's see on the daily. Interesting, man. Link actually subbing itself a little bit more. Again, a very, very easy setup right here. It's not guaranteed to work out, obviously, but it's a very easy setup for an actual trade. Not that this is financial advice, nor am I a financial advisor, but look, you can use $26 as a pivot right there. As long as you're above it, you can play the long side, and you can target moves back up north of $30, actually more around like $31. And I mean, at that point, this thing's going to be a full-on reversal, isn't it? 5 days says that that's definitely possible right here. But the second that this thing closes the daily below $26, this thing's going to come down hard again, man. Back down to $22 or so. We will probably have hidden bearish evidence as well. No, we don't actually. So that'd be a little bit more on the bullish side. Obviously, 12-hour is not super strong right there. Nor is it super weak, but it's just I want to see something obvious here, and I'm not getting it. 4-hour, yeah, $26 is the pivot. You can play positions on both sides just from that as a pivot. I would, yes, lean on the upside a little bit more to begin with. Let's see if momentum oscillators agree. Hourly is down as long as below 27. Okay. 4 hours up as long as above 26.5. All right, we are right now. 12-hour, it's going to show down as long as below 27.5. Daily will turn down below 25.25. Yeah, man, I do think it's going to test $26 again. Does it break below there or not? There's no way to know that. It's just I know that is, or at least I strongly believe that is your big pivot right there. Below $26, this one's gonna have some serious issues especially on a 12-hour or daily closure, even on a 4-hour as well. Even on a 4-hour, man. I probably would respect the upside first and foremost. And look, you do have this setup is coming in the next 24 hours, extremely likely, man. Extremely fucking likely. BBWP is on the floor, so. But when it does move, it's going to move fucking fast. So be aware if you do take a position somewhere around there and you do try to play it to the long side. If it turns against you, be very aggressive with getting out. You can maybe use this wick low over here at like 25, 60 or so. It's a beautiful setup because you're very close to finding out, where you're going to be wrong on that one very, very quickly. But it's right fucking there, man. Right fucking there. I keep on pointing back to the underlying market dynamics, and it's just like, I'm split, man. I'm very, very split right now. Very defensive today. Let's see. Sushi Yum Yums, what's up, man? Traded this entire move literally opposite, like traded it the opposite of oh, the message is below. Okay, see. The rest of it wouldn't send. Where did you see that Bitcoin was going to make an upward move from 41,000 instead of a downtrend move? You were eyeing down to 38 to 32 because I didn't see it. Okay, so that was on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We spoke about this. It was the trigger for that, the trigger for no longer looking for immediate downside and then looking for, I mean, realistically, it was first target was 20. Or, Jesus Christ, we're on the wrong chart right here. Was 47,000. Was back above this pivot right here, back above this last lower high at around 44,000 bucks. That was the trigger in that case. Until then, I was actually bearish, as I will be whenever anything looks like this. I understand that some people are going to disagree with me on that one, but I will favor trend over everything else. That's what gives me the bias first, and then I go off of the order of operations second with volatility, and then of course momentum as well. So in this case right here, things switched around from a major moving average perspective. Right here, actually a little bit lower at about 43.5. That was kind of like the warning signal, and then back above 44 was like, okay, you don't have lower highs anymore. So if you're playing that, well, you're not playing a strategy. You're playing hopium at that point. So yeah, I was certainly bearish in this region over here, no doubt about that. I will always be bearish in a region over there where I switch this right here. So that's kind of what I was going off of. Remember, you don't need to subscribe to this ideology. I just do because it keeps me safe in more moves more often than not. But trend first. Trend sets in the bias for direction, then volatility for kind of timing those moves, and then momentum for, kind of like as a tertiary or a secondary confirmation on top of that. Momentum is probably the thing that I care about or trust the least. Volatility and trend are the most important things in my opinion. And then what's even on top of that is flows. Actually, is flows in my opinion. Anyways, yeah, man. So that would be it right there. Essentially, once you lost this level right here, you no longer have that downtrend anymore on the short and medium term timeframes. Very likely looking move towards, I believe the target was 47. Then Bitcoin took out this prior high right here. That was conditions for confirming a bear trap on your higher term timeframes, as we spoke about. Actually, we spoke about it a lot more way over here. But same sort of same logic applies in this case over here. And then above there, it's like, all right, you're just going to go into a melt up phase again. So hopefully that was as clear as possible, and let me know if there's like some sort of point of contingency that you'd like to go a little bit deeper into. Alex Switch, what's up, man? Morning to you as well, sir. So Krown, I've got a psycho question. All right, how the book Power of Now helped you in trading in trading life and in general? Okay, so how does a book like that essentially help you? Well, it helped me because I found that I was associating my identity with like my wins and losses a little bit too much as a trader. And I also associated my identity with like being a trader as well. And in that book, it really kind of hammers into your mind that, you might like play the role of a trader. You might play the role of being right or wrong, but you as a person, you are kind of unchanging. So for me, I would always kind of fight against myself, especially when first beginning, because what I felt is that I had to get my trades right in order to be right as a person. That's why typically it feels really, really bad when you get, when you take a loss on a trade or when you're wrong, because not only are you losing finances, which is, bad enough, obviously, but also, in the way that we're kind of especially socialized in the Western world, it's like you're wrong as a person. When you go through school, you take a test and you either get the question right or you get the question wrong. And that's kind of how we're taught. And if you get it wrong, bad, bad grade, and you're not allowed to fail. And that's exactly how you can't go about being a trader, because you will naturally take losses. So whenever that would happen, I would get in my own way, mentally speaking, and I'd be like fighting this internal battle. It's like, you can't be fucking wrong, because you don't want to be wrong as a person, but you have to allow yourself to be wrong in order to be a trader, because you're not always going to be on the right side of a trade. And the right thing to do is to say, okay, this trade was wrong doesn't change me as a person. I'm still a fucking person, you know. There's nothing going to change that unless if you know, go into the knife or something and, I don't know, get an operation. And even then, you know, you can only change your gender so many times, right? But you know, being right or wrong in a trade, you know, did not. Once I started to really internalize that book, it didn't necessarily make me feel that same emotional spikes that I would in the past with getting things wrong, especially. And also it worked on the positive side as well, because a lot of the time, you know, when I first started, I was actually at a pretty damn good start, honestly, where I was on the right side of the trade a lot of the time, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a good trader, like, you know, I'm a good fucking trader, right? And I'd want to reinforce that identity, but realistically, man, it's like, no, I'm just a person who trades. Some of those are right, some of those are wrong, and I know from a logical perspective that if I just follow my plan, then the statistics will play out in my favor, and that's what I want. It has absolutely nothing to do with my identity, even though we're kind of biologically set up to believe that. So yeah, man, hopefully that was as clear as possible, because I think I mean, you can attack that question from a bunch of different angles, but yeah, that's why that book was very, very important to me, especially at that stage in my life. And of course, you know, it helps you in life in general, just because, I mean, that's going to be like everything. That's going to be everything. Simply Gain says strike rate of what? From Matt Rutledge. I requested Eurus Aerox token. Let me see where it actually. Yeah, I don't see anything from Matt Rutledge actually from before. Well, I don't even see a message that you sent me from him anywheres. Yeah, well, I see that now, but not before. Anyways, we'll look at it. All right, Eurus Aerox token. All right, this thing. All right. Just a straight up chart, man. I mean, it's good on the weekly, man. If it wants to pull back down to like 0.0215 or so, that's fine. I guess long term, I'd still be looking up here. Short term, probably comes back down to 0.025. Actually, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. I have no reason to be looking for a reversal here as long as you're above about 233 or so. Below there, I would be looking for a medium term reversal back down to 1516 region. Until then, you know, sideways and up is the name of the game here, but this is a pretty ridiculous chart thus far. Very new, so I don't know how much I trust it. I'm getting a very nasty sell signal, by the way, on Daily Jewel. It might flip around for one more fully like good drive, because I am also getting a hidden bullish divergence signal on the other side. So I'm inclined to say that this is not the signal that you're looking for yet. Probably gets one more try to the upside, and then it's going to line up for a perfect signal, and then it's going to come down hard, and it probably does come down to like 0.014 region overall, but first thing, I'd probably be looking for a move to the upside. Probably goes for a new high here too. Other than that, I don't really have a strong opinion on this one. Multiple drives of hidden bullish evidence, volatility increasing, and trend is in your favor as well there. So hopefully that was good to go, sir. All right, let me just try to find where the fuck I was back now before Elsa interrupted me. Let's see. Simply Gain says strike rate of 70% is very impressive. Well, the thing is that I don't have too many trade opportunities with that strategy. I'm still at mid 40s and still profitable. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do that. It sounds like you're probably going for more reward instead of risk. Fair enough. Fair enough. How did you get so good at reading price order flow on low time frames? It's not price order flow is what I'm doing. I showed you what I'm doing over here. It's very, very simple. Oops, not here. God damn it. Where the fuck is it? Right here? Yeah. Very, very simple stuff, man. All I'm doing. Oh, Jesus, wrong chart. All I'm doing is I'm looking at trend mediated by the moving averages. I'm looking at volatility mediated by BBWP, and I'm looking at PMARP and kind of the jewel as like a secondary helpfulness with current momentum. But PMARP kind of helps me with scalping those moves relatively fast. So I don't get as many entries because this the strategy doesn't really. I mean, when was the last hourly signal we got? Way back here, 30th September. I've been trading very low term time frames recently. Even those ones have been working pretty damn well as well. So yeah. Okay, cool. And it's all about like the setup versus risk reward as well. So it's not just a strike rate. It's also the risk reward as well. So it's not a fully accurate statement. So in order to like know your true expected revenue over time, or expected profit and loss over time, you need to have your strike rate plus your risk reward as well. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Nimbo? Welcome to Uptober. Is that the new meme in this market? It's Uptober, baby. Well, so far it has been an Uptober, to be fair. Will says, hey, Krown, sir, what's up, man? Any thoughts on Celsius Networks symbol CEL versus USD on HIT BTC daily or weekly time frame? Okay, let's see. Is this the one that was getting investigated by the SEC? For some reason, that sounds familiar. You said, okay, you said, what exchange did you say? HIT BTC. HIT BTC is not even on. HIT BTC is not even on TradingView. Good on them for getting rid of it. Jesus Christ. We can go to Bittrex though. Short term probably comes back down to the bottom side of the range, but this is fine right here. Reversal looks reversal is real as long as you're above about 555 or so. Below 555, I'd look for this one to really dump out down to 5.25. But for right now, you know, you give it the benefit of the doubt, I guess. I don't know how much I trust this because there's got to be a better chart than this. Hold on. What about FTX? Okay, FTX makes a little bit more sense. Same ranges to be fair. Oh, nice. We have a lot more history here too. Yeah, not liking the long term of this one. I'd get really fucking bearish below 5.5. Really fucking bearish for another move down towards the current lows. But for now, you know, you got to give things a chance within this market. Really not bearish as long as you're above the 55 in this case. Should be a basing point and should move back up to the highs of this rally towards like 592 long term. I think you're on a weekly or something. I'm not a fan of this chart long term, but if you do start to take out the top side of that, you know, of your current rally, you're looking for a move into like the low sixes, like 6.25 or so, and then come back to it after that. Kind of an uneventful chart right there. Same thing right there. It just looks like it's rolling over long term. I don't know, man. I don't trust these things too much, but and if I had to call it right now, if I was looking at anything else, I'd be looking for maybe one more test towards like 560. Very likely to bounce there, and then another try towards 590 and start to close above there, extend those targets to 6.25 and come back below 5.5. Very fucking bad. Very fucking bad, man. Looking for continuations. What's up, David? I'm doing well, man. I got a good night of sleep last night. How you doing, sir? Check out Matic. Okay, Matic. You want to do Matic right here? We already looked at SHIB. I despise looking at that thing, but you know what? Fair enough, man. I guess it deserves its praise for now. Where's my Matics? Matic, where are you? Please respond. There we go. Found it. You're looking at, you give no time frames. All right, well, fair enough. This one very similar to Link actually on the short-term time frames. Big pivot right here at $1.23.5. Below there, very fucking bad. Would look for this one to come all the way back down to 105, 106 region. Until then, sideways is good. Sideways and short-term very likely does pop back up towards 130 to 131 region. Does look like you're doing something like this right now. If you are bullish, you're looking at something like this, right? This current yearly working on your higher low right here, something like that, and very likely pops back up into the median of the range. From there, God damn it. Yeah, from, you know, the question to me is, do we have one more correction down to like 90, low 90 cent, or is this one ready to run back up towards 160 to 170 region? You know, long term, this is a pretty good chart. Pretty good chart long term. I would say I'd be looking for that downside move, especially below, sorry, not 123.5, actually more like 124. Below 124, I'd call this one very, very bearish. Until then, you know, back above 132, and I'd look for that next big move to the upside, probably back up to about $1.40 to $1.50 or so. And then long term, probably just trends up from there. But again, very similar to Link in the sense that you got to pivot right where you're at right now. I am getting, to be fair, more downside signals than upside signals, but I would prioritize price action in this particular one over everything else. You know, as long as you're above about $1.24, good. Below there, especially on a 4-hour closure, get ready for the fucking reckoning once again. What's up, Nero? Ren? Yeah, we can do Ren. Over USD. Ren, show me. Let's see what time frames as well. Daily. Okay, daily. Got it. Generally good. Just stepping up there. Golden cross over here. Been running it ever since. Could be looking in. Yeah, this one's pretty damn good here, man. Weekly, 5-day, all good. Let's see. Is there any threat of a short-term pullback? Yeah, it could very easily pull back to 110 or so. I have no issues with this thing as long as you're above, especially $1. But I'd even go as far as saying 90 cents. You know, short-term pullback should likely just create another higher low. And this one marches its way back up long term north of like 140 or so. This is pretty good. Climbing the wall of warrior right now. Monthly, very, very good. I would be, I'd feel a lot more confident speaking towards the long term here, saying that this thing's very likely to make new all-time highs, probably November, maybe even this month, but very likely November, I'd say. Long term, very, very good. Let's see. Nimbo says you get a 20-cent discount on fuel in El Salvador if you pay with Bitcoin. Really? Huh. What are gas prices right now? They're probably skyrocketing. That actually is quite interesting. So they really want you to use it. Man, powerful South American countries, man. They're really leading the way with this whole thing. Interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this like plays out. I don't know. Like, I want to put myself in their shoes, like in the shoes of, well, I guess El Salvadorians who are kind of forced to use Bitcoin now, I guess. How would I feel if I was forced to use Bitcoin? I don't think I'd like it. I actually don't think I'd like it that much, to be honest with you, but fair enough. I guess we'll see how this experiment goes. Sachin Sharma says, Mantra DAO, OM, okay. OM. Let's see, you're looking at this thing, I'm guessing. Let's just double check this is the right one, because on Poloniex it has the exact name. Yeah, it does look like the right one. What time frame are you looking at here? Daily and hourly. Daily, good. Very, very good. As long as you're above 21.5 cents. Be looking for this one to pop back up. This one could even go for a bit of a run towards 40 cents or so. Momentum oscillator is all good around here. BBWP on the floor. Daily RSI is bullish. 4 hour, or I think you asked about hourly or 4 hour? Hourly. That is a weird looking chart. Let's go over here maybe. Hourly, sideways and up, man. Again, know where your pivots are, know where your risk is. I'm pretty damn bullish on this thing above about 22 cents. Doesn't look as impressive on Binance, by the way, as it did on Poloniex, just for what it's worth. What about a 5-day right here? Yeah, man, I'd still be using that 22 cent area as a pivot on a daily closure. Below there, very, very bad. This one goes for a nice big old retracement down to the low teens, like 13 to 12 cents or so. Until then, sideways and up out of this range is the name of the game, it looks like. Shorter term time frames giving me some concerning signals here, but I don't think it's gonna actually play it. I think that this thing just doesn't trade all that much. Daily is gonna be interesting. Same things over here too. Be very, 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 very quick to switch on to fully bear below about 22 cents. But for right now, it's acting well, man. I just want to check it one more angle over here just to see where we're at. Yeah, generally good. I'd be favoring the upside here. I'd be favoring in that case. What's up, Greg Usler? Hi, is Q&T too short history for TA? No, because I remember this one on KuCoin has plenty of history actually. Yep, plenty of history going all the way back to February 2021. It's good enough for medium and lower term time frames. Certainly daily, you can still look at trend. I mean, it's still generally good here. This one was like just rallying to the fucking moon and beyond, especially in May when Bitcoin and the rest of the market were not. So this one kind of deserves a lot of respect for that, and I definitely remember it for that reason. Like anytime I see anything do that, I remember it, just because that's what like a 2018 link does, for example. This one right here, if you're looking at the 4 hour, I think it's just going sideways here. It's not really too interesting on like a medium term time frame. For this one, daily is very obviously long term up, but do we come alongside another move down to like 266 first? Probably yes. 5-day long-term bullish, weekly long-term bullish. How long can that take? I don't know, probably into November. Monthly, obviously bullish as well. Short-term is just sideways here. Not really too interesting. And I probably would be looking for next test to the downside of the range. I don't really trust that all that much, but there's zero reason in my opinion to be bearish on this thing, like overall, as long as you're above about 255. Below 255, yeah, things do fall apart again, and probably see a big move down at that point to 170 to 160 region. But until then, man, this is again, at least in my opinion, deserves some respect. Krown keeping an eye on the 5-day jewel. No, I actually haven't checked it out myself. Let's see. I think you're looking for this one to swing around into a signal right here. That actually is kind of leveling out. Let's see what it looks like on CME. Yeah, leveling out there as well. Interesting. Yeah, that's gonna be man. Jesus Christ. So in this case, what do you? Oh my God, this would be a fucking setup and a half, wouldn't it? You'd have trend because this is your reversal right here. You got your higher low and your higher high confirmed tomorrow, or if you're looking at CME today, volatility is on the floor. Momentum's about to be I mean, if that turns cyan, man, which it's already suggesting that you might have a chance here. It could definitely happen as soon as tomorrow. I mean, yeah, that's going to be 58. That's going to be like $60,000 target. It's going to look really, really good, man. It's going to look really, really good. So a little bit of patience here, but it's right on the horizon, man. Right on the horizon. What's up, Ben? Ben says, hi, sir. Can we look at XCAD, medium to long time frame? Don't know what that means, sir, but we got like a 12-hour and a daily. This one doesn't have any history, so we got to go down to the crack traded time frames. This one looks like it wants to come back down to about 290 or so. 12-hour. Yeah, not super impressive. 4-hour, do we try to bounce this one a little bit more? This one's very weak. You know, might bounce one more into like the mid threes, but I expect that this one's coming back down to your prior lows at about 280. 280 to 290-ish regions where I'd be looking towards. I don't like this rolling over behavior. This is typically very bad. Indicative of distribution. Again, I don't know how much you trust analysis on something that's this new, but we're looking for probably next move down if I had to, if you put a gun in my head. See over here, just out of curiosity, if this agrees. Daily down as long as below $4. Yep, that's heavy pressure. 12-hour is actually going to twist up above 350, so fail to really back up above about 350 today, and I'd be looking for this one to play out next move down somewhere around about 290-ish region. Try for a bounce there and then come back to it after that. Invalidation on this one above 350 intraday. Yeah, this one does a little more sloppy toppy to me, but always hard with an altcoin that hasn't really been around for too long. Buried Alive says, somebody pass me the lube, please. I'm not trying to get raw dogs on Bitcoin this week. There you go. Stay safe, sir. What's up, Nav? Sol USD, please. Short-term, medium-term overall. Okay, I think yesterday we looked at Solana and we said probably back down to the median of the range. Let's see if that was correct. Where you at? Yep. Hey, not bad. TA bullshit working. All right, nice. Let's actually, should we record this one? Yeah, why not? Here we have Solana, symbol SOL versus the dollar. I believe over the past couple of days, we were looking for a move back down to about $1.50. We've gotten that move back down to $1.50. So what do we look for now? Well, you know, obviously it's in a bit of a range here, but I actually would be favoring an extension of this downside move. In this case, bearish, a bit of phantom div coming off that last high right there. Actually, no, it's not phantom div. This is real bearish divergence right there. You hit the easy target already. The next target would be somewhere down around $1.30 to maybe $1.35 or so. Make no mistake about it. Long term, this is a great chart. This is a phenomenal chart long term, and I'd be looking at any move towards like 130 to 140 as an opportunity here. I have no issues with this chart long term, especially as long as you're above about $1.25. Weekly's good. Monthly is good. You know, long term, this one's still very, 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 very good. Wouldn't be surprised to see it make new ultimates before end of year in this case. But short term, you know, if you're looking at very short term time frames, does it play at a bit of a bounce here? Perhaps yes. Any failure to get back above 167 intraday, and I'll be looking for this one. Yeah, coming down to like low 140s, maybe upper 130s. Let's see if momentum oscillators over here agree with that. 4 hours down as long as below 162.40. Okay. 12-hour is down as long as below 173.5. Daily is going to flip down on today's closure below about 163.5. Also come up with an invalidation on this one. Where'd my invalidation be? Yeah, pretty much 165. If this one fails to get back above about 165 intraday today, I'm looking for this one to trade sideways and down to about 140, give or take a few bucks there. Volatility on the ground here. This one's looking for a move today. This one's very likely looking for that move today. So better hope that volatility expansion comes with a reclaim of 165. Otherwise, back down to the range we go. Again, long term, very fucking good chart. Very, 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 very good chart, but looks a little more corrective to me here. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. Bots for the win says, Boomer! Hodge Twins was a decade ago. Good times. I know, man, the best time. Dude, I used to watch those videos and just laugh my face off to myself. It was great. They are some funny motherfuckers, man. I think they even went into like comedy recently too. It's good move, man. Absolutely fucking hilarious, like naturally hilarious people. Edward Preston Arco says, can you check out SPI USD on the daily? Sure. Not familiar with this one. Shopping.io. All right. Pretty good on the 4 hour. Daily, pretty damn good as well. Maybe a short-term pullback right around about 57, but I don't think that thing stopped there. We have a higher low right here. This one very likely works its way up to, you know, low 70s. Weekly's good. Yeah, man, this thing very likely works its way up to low 70s, but I don't think it's going to stop there long term. I think this thing's like done with its reaccumulation here. I think that this thing moves up to 160 plus over the next month or two. It's good. Good. Invalidation would be very obviously below about 47.5, but in this case, this one's bullish in all time frames here. This is actually one of the easier charts today. Good. Yeah, very, very good, man. Bitcoin moving up too. Hey, there we go. Nice girthy green dildos in my face yet again. Love it. Absolutely fucking love it. Show me those girthy green dildos, please. Let's see. What's up, Martin? Martin's back again. Yeah, cool. I'm glad that that resonated because you know, that's something that I think a lot of people kind of innately struggle with. And again, I don't uninclude myself from that equation. It certainly was difficult for me when I first began as well. But you know, when you're going to focus on a time frame, like always backwards engineer what you're looking for, man. Anyways, I'll go on the daily if you have time. Looks like another lower high. Okay, let's check it out on the daily. And you're saying that there might be another lower high there. Let's see. Doesn't look too strong right here. I do want to see what momentum oscillators do say, because this is actually going to help a lot when you're in like the middle of the range here. 5 days down as long as below 230, so that's probably not happening today. 2 days down as long as below $2, and daily is going to flip down below 176. 12 hour, what are you doing? Freshly down below 207. Yeah, I'd kind of agree with you on this one. I would have an invalidation back above just under $2, like 197 or so. I would say if you can get back above there intraday and hold it around end of day, that would negate what I'm about to say. But I would generally agree with what you're saying, and probably be looking for a move down about $1.70 or so overall. Again, long term, pretty good, pretty damn good here. Just a bit more filling out of the range is completely fine, completely healthy. I don't think it's ready just yet. For example, weekly. Yeah, all higher term timeframes look pretty damn good here. It's just it's probably going to take a long time. In between that time, does it come back down and test around those regions that we spoke about? Probably yes. And again, invalidation below, I think it was just under $2, and I'd need to see that intraday. Otherwise, volatility expansion very likely comes with a test of the downside. What's up, Micah? Hi, Zer. What's up, Zer? XTZ Tezos, yeah. No one's called out Tezos in like a week here. Let's see where she's at. Tezos, and you're looking at a 4 hour in daily. Should we record this? Let me see how many videos I have already. I think I might have too much already. What are we on? We're on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now we won't record this one. Save one for Ethereum. And then Bitcoin, and that should be enough. Okay, I do think that this one is showing a bit of signs of slowdown right here. Bearish divergence will be confirmed on a daily with any sort of a closure here or lower by end of day. Can kind of 12 hour front run that maybe. Yes, hey, stop that. Yeah, I do think, yeah, I would say so. And initiate targets down to about 6.5 or so. Yeah, somewhere around 6.5 to 680 is kind of where I'd be looking for. 5 day is toppy. Coming into tomorrow. Now, if you want to be super conservative and wait for closure tomorrow, if it looks anything like this, anywhere below 770, I'd be looking for next move down. Again, long term, pretty good chart here. Just short term corrective. See, speaking of short term, 4 hour should bounce here. If I would kind of negate what I'm saying here, if it does pop back above and hold 8.25 intraday, if it can do that, I'd say that this is not going to play out. This will not be confirmed and probably trade sideways and up from this region. See what momentum also here if they agree. Let's see. 12 hour down as long as below 890. Okay. Daily will turn down below 785. Yeah, I'd even say you don't even need to wait for my trigger on that. I was saying 8.25. You could even say just $8 even. If they were to hold that level back by intraday and especially end of day. I'll probably be looking for this one to correct into end of week, somewhere around about 6.5 or so, $7, somewhere around there. Yeah, showing some signs of slowdown here. Again, you got volatility increasing, so this one's actually in the process of moving. Oh, and Elsa, lazy, ordering food. All right, let's see what else we got. Ligio, Mr. Villa, CGLD, Cello on Coinbase. Okay, CGLD. All right. Good. Very, very likely putting in a low here at about 566 or so. If it plays out one more downside move, I'd be looking for a 515 if it loses that. But this is good. This is good long term. Weekly does say down first, actually. Maybe I do adjust that. But what time frames were you looking at exactly? Holding large bags from 640. Oh, well, in that case, well, man, I mean, you got to consider that this thing's very likely to go lower first before trying higher. You bought around you bought right here and you did not sell here. That's not good. And that was bearish divergence. That is an exit signal. Tried to scalp and failed to follow my plan. Well, sir, if you're going to scalp, you got to scalp. you turned a scalper into a hodler, man. Fair enough, man. I've certainly done it plenty of times before as well. I'd be looking for this one to make another stab down to like $5.50 or so before the next sort of general bounce. Here's the thing, though, man. Like, are you gonna get back to your entry? You said 640. The problem is, like, that's kind of a tough one. Managing a position like that, it's like you didn't take your profit signal, you didn't take your exit signal either, and now you're kind of in there. Usually when that happens, I mean, the best thing to do is just fucking, get out. I know it's going to be painful because you will see it bounce and then you're going to be like, oh shit, I could have saved some money, but it is what it is, man. Daily's down as long as below 633, not good. 12-hour down, freshly down as long as below 614, not good. 4 hours going to pop up above 580, so yeah, it's very likely to give a very short-term bounce here. Here's what I'd say. Okay, look, you're very likely to get a short-term bounce here. Pray that bounce gets back above 620. If it does, you're probably going to be okay. You can probably look for a move back up towards 6.75 or so. Maybe even you get lucky at $7. At that point, don't get fucking greedy. Failure to do that intraday. And when I say intraday, I mean like literally in the next like 3-4 closures here on the 4 hour. I would be looking for this correction to take this one lower down towards 5.5 to 5.25 region. And at that point, it's like, I'll let you make the decision for yourself. Obviously, that's the right thing to be doing. But I think you kind of guess what I'd be saying right there. Kind of hoping and praying here. But I do think that you will see a short-term bounce. Just pray that short-term bounce gets back above about 615 to 620ish region. If it can hold there, you're probably okay. At least to do your actual fucking plan and scalp it, right? So yeah, man. Failed to follow my own plan. I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling, and the conclusion I've come to is that is not a plan at all. Matt C says, "Hey, sir. Hey, what's up, man? Shib baby. Shib baby. Is this a thing? We've already looked at. Is this a thing, or I'm okay? Or you're just looking at Shib? We've already looked at it a couple times, man. As always, look, man. I called Shib so fucking wrong back on over here. So fucking wrong over here. Now, I did give continuation targets to 2,000, which were actually even above there, too. So I'm even wrong on that one. It's like, should be more bullish on this piece of shit. But, look, man, I don't think that I have, like, a good idea or understanding of, like, these meme tokens. They kind of just do whatever they're going to do. They pump the hardest, that's for sure. That's for certain. 2,400, I think this one pushes back a little bit. If you start to get above there, I guess next technical target would be just below 3,000, but I don't trust these sort of things, man. BBWP and momentum oscillators on the short-term time frames say very likely pull back very, 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 very soon, and probably comes back down below 2,000, down to like 1,600 or 1,700 or so. If it was a real thing, that's what I'd say. Because it's not, this thing maybe just fucking blasts in your face. Who the fuck knows on that thing, man? Bitcoin, what are you doing, sir? Dancing around the 51,600 level. Manuel Avino says, Bosun, the next soul? I don't know. Never heard of it. Let's check it out. Bosun protocol on KuCoin. Well, the hourly is a bit short-term toppy. Is this the next Solana? This thing is anything but a Solana, man. This thing mostly trends down, it looks like. Nothing to be excited about here as long as you're below about 193 on, for the long term, obviously. Do I think that you're going to give a try up there? Probably, yeah. Back above 190, I wouldn't call it a Solana, but I would call a nice move, probably up to the mid threes or so long term. Other than that, man, I can tell you where to get really fucking bearish on this thing. Back below $1. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then this thing back down to the shitcoin gutter. But for right now, yeah, next move very likely up. I'd be looking for extension to 135 or so. Would I call it the next Solana? No, Solana pretty much only went up. This one so far since its inception pretty much only goes down actually. You think you're looking at a bit of a reversal there though, so short term, medium term should be up. Shouldn't say should be, but very likely up. Corey H, what's up, man? I prepared my Angus. There we go. Fucking love it. May you please make a prediction on BNB weekly, daily. We got some old derptions over here. Let's see. You're looking at a daily and weekly. Is that right? Yeah, this one I was also pretty wrong on last week as well. And this one closed even a bullish engulfing right there on the weekly, like alongside hidden bullish divergence there too. Jesus Christ. Missing some easy plays, man. I'm losing it. I'm fucking losing it. Also took out the lower high right there as well, so it is no longer operating on lower highs. I'd be looking for this one to work its way towards $500, I guess. Jesus. Turnaround was fast and the turnaround was swift. Where I'd invalidate this one, where I'd start to get bearish on this one very easily, back below your 400 spike low on the 4th of October. Be looking for a run at the current lows after that, and then very likely new lows back down to my prior targets, which was about 266 or so. Until then, path of least resistance is up and to the right, somewhere around $500 or so. I mean, long term, man, if you start to check out that area, this thing's gonna, run towards its prior term highs and very likely make an ultimate also. And for what it's worth, higher term timeframes are actually rather healthy here. They're actually rather bullish. So, shit, gotta eat my words on that one, I guess. Damn it, wrong again. Matt Rutledge says, "Hi, thanks, Elsa. Have a Starbucks on me." Hey, there you go. She doesn't drink coffee, but funny about that. Tokyo Channel says, "Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Just a nice positive message, and I salute you, man. I salute you, man. Hopefully that dollar yen trade's been working out for you, because that one's been a beautiful one to watch for like the last year that we've been watching it. Good shit, man. What's up, Thomas? From Switzerland. Hey, that's like the Holy Land, isn't it? Could you have a look at Hex? Sure, maybe with the DMI indicator. Not a big fan of the DMI right now, to be honest with you, but I can look at the RSI. They're very, very similar. I called a top on this one at about 50 cents a few weeks ago, and I don't really have any reason to change this. I still think this one is coming down from here. There's going to be bounces along the way. I can move down the invalidation point from, I think it was 47 cents now to about 45 cents. As long as you're below there, man, I'm looking for this one. Maybe another bounce at 35 cents. Perhaps that's what we're seeing right now. I do think this one's going to come down pretty hard, though. I know that people are not going to appreciate when I say that, but you also have to remember I was pretty damn bullish on this thing from just under 2 cents all the way up to 50 cents. So hopefully the Hex crew can remember that. Long term, man, I do think that this thing has topped out for a long time. I do think that this thing will come down to 25 cents before like the next big bounce, and there should be another medium term bounce somewhere around the mid to low 30s on the way. And over the next couple months, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing back down probably below 20 cents, before end of year, man. Can I be wrong on that? Yes. Where are you going to confirm that I'm wrong on that? Back above about 45 cents. Until then, man, I don't really have any reason to change my opinion on this one. Actually, the Jewel got this one really, really well over here. Down we go. Volatility hasn't even started to increase yet either, really. I'm curious what it looks like over here, actually. What's up, Tams? Yo, man. Let's see. Yeah, that's 4 hour daily, freshly down below 42 cents. So you can maybe even mark down that next point. Weekly is going to be down below 49.5. I don't really have a reason to change my opinion on this one. Let's say not even below 45. I would start to reconsider what I'm saying right now, back above about 43. Until then, this one's not a big fan of the chart as I was before. Put it that way. So hopefully that was helpful, man. And there you go. All right. Let's see. KC Verbsmith. What's up, man? Hope you and chat are doing well. Hope you're doing well as well, man. Mind checking out ZCX. We actually looked at this one earlier. Short term down, but 4 hour and 12 hour. I remember the other time frames were good. Yeah, 4 hours good. Short term can it come back down to like 5:30 or so? That's fine. 12 hour daily. I'd be looking for it to bounce there and very likely make its way back up towards $6 or so. Long term good, at least for the history that we have. Other than that, can't really do too much with it. It's a little bit too new, but it's decent. it's better to have like a good history than not a good history. In this case, and this one certainly has a good history for what it's worth. David says, "Oh, how dare you, man? How dare you?" What's up, Go Team? Oasis Rose. Okay, I think the symbol is Rose. Yeah, I recognize this one. You're looking at a 4 hour. Okay, go to the 4 hour right here. Looks like a bit of a breakdown to me, man. I would invalidate what I'm about to say if this thing moves back above about 18 and a quarter, but I'd be looking for this one to come down probably towards 15 and a half or so. It's not super bad long term or anything. I'd just be looking for next move down. That's all. Let's see what momentum also to say over here. Rose USD. Weekly's down. Daily will turn down below 17 and a half. 4 hour. 4 hour says bouncy bounce here. You know what? Again, I would invalidate what I'm about to say with any sort of a 4 hour closure back above about 18 and a quarter. And I would be looking for a move all the way up to, just shy of 20 cents or so. Until then, I'm generally looking for this one to come back down here. So the invalidation is very, very close to price action, which is, easy for a setup. Of course, it's not financial advisor, but I'm getting slightly more downside signals than not. So I'm inclined to go with downside first. And that's kind of where I'd change my opinion on that one. You have a good day as well, Mr. Tams. Crypto Dinero to the moon. Love it. There you go. Let's see. SHIB at $1 would be more than 10x the entire world's GDP. What? Do you think that these things are supposed to make sense? How dare you? How dare you be so reasonable, sir, and logical? Ridiculous. N-Stamp says, can you look at Atom USD? Sure. I mean, for what it's worth, man, like a lot of these shitcoins rallying is not in my book. Atom, no time frame is given, but I am inclined to say this one's actually getting ready for a bit. This one actually looks very toppy, similar to Hex, actually. Probably looking for this one to come down to $30. 4 hour disagrees with me. 4 hour says bounce first, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish. Probably bounce back up to like 36 and a half, 37 or so. But that is just short term after all, weekly. I mean, long term, this is a good chart, but is it toppy from this perspective? Yes. What about monthly? Monthly good. I mean, this thing can pull back to $30 and still be long term very, very good. That's kind of where I'd be at right now. Where would I invalidate this one? Because I'm not super strong on this one. Back above 37 and a quarter on a 4 hour intraday, especially, I'd actually invalidate this and look for a move back to the top side of the range, like upper 30s, low 40s or so. Until then, I'm more inclined to say downside here. Let's see if daily Stokes agree with me here. Yep, freshly down below 39 and a quarter. So I'm gonna run with that one. Go right over there. Slight Vertigo says, I've recorded a loop of Elsa's laughs and I'm going to use it for response to the yard gate entry. Should keep the kids away. I know, it's like a fucking witch. It's like, ha, 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 ha. It's like, Jesus Christ. All right, I might sound like Goofy, but you are used to scare children away at Halloween. It's probably a good thing, though, for us. I guess so. Greg Daniels, what's up, man? Greetings and salutations. Salutations, sir. My first super chat. Sweet. Thank you for, man. That's very humbling, man. Thanks for popping the old cherry. No problem, sir. Hope it was good for you as it was for me. Mind doing the 4 hour daily, weekly, and monthly for APY versus Ethereum? I don't know if there. Well, I can't promise there's going to be a monthly for this one. I've never heard of it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not so sure how healthy that is. Pretty shitty for the information that I can get. Weekly, pretty shitty. I really despise charts like this, man. Very, very much. I mean, this just looks like another lower high right here, man. I think that this was the totality of the pump. Very likely, this one comes down short term to 2 million butyrols, and then probably bounces there, and then probably fail. I mean, this thing's never not gone down, pretty much. Look, if I'm wrong, I think best this one does to the upside is like back around 3.5 million butyrols or whatever the fuck. But I'm getting a lot more downside signals here than not. I really don't trust charts like this. I really don't trust indicators on charts like this. I trust trend. And so you can see that this thing mostly just has sellers. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go for the full retrace sooner rather than later over the next month here. Really, really not good, man. Really, really not good. But you know, do you get another pump and dump just like you got back on over here? It's possible, but at that point you're hoping and praying. That's not real analysis. That's not real trading, and that's personally speaking what I like to stay away from, because you know there's not going to be any sort of like technical analysis that tells you that's going to happen. 12-hour down, daily down, weekly be down soon enough. 5 days, same thing. I'm not a fan of this one, man. You play these things at your own peril, but does it get a short-term bounce here? Maybe yes. Where did I change my opinion on this one? I changed my opinion back above about 2.5 million butyrols, and maybe look for another pumpity pump to like that mid-3 level or so. But I feel like I'm just feeding you hopium right there, man. Long-term, this thing trends towards 0. Butyrols, that is. That much is clear. Let's see what else we got over here. Idiot Air says, can you peek at pre-USD? And to be fair, Greg, the US dollar pairing is going to be way different. It's going to be way, way different. So, you know, you are charting an asset against another asset in that case. So obviously it's not going to be as fulfilling because Ethereum's been, you know, on a nice little run recently. Idiot Air says, can you take a peek at pre-USD pre-search on 4 on daily? Okay. I preed all over my pants when I preed my I also preed my my battlefield order too. Daily, very good. This is a great chart. Holy shit. What the fuck? The fuck is this thing? 4 hour daily. Por favor. Hey. All right, we got some Espanol over here. Okay, so this one's really fucking aggressive, man. Like, you don't want to go tracing green dildos. Obviously, it's a good chart long term. Even the weekly's still good. Even the monthly's still good. What is this thing, man? This thing's actually like really impressive. I was not expecting this at all. Look, this thing can turn down really fucking fast, and when it does, it's gonna hammer you down to like 35 or 40 cents or so. But I suspect you don't really have too much to worry about as long as you're above 42.5 cents. That would be my invalidation. That would be my big warning flag signal being thrown off here. Until then, all momentum also is still bullish here, and suggesting one more move to the upside. Let's see if we have any relevant areas of interest here. Yeah, probably guns for like 50 cents first, 50 plus cents first before the old pullback happens. But you know, just be aware. Just be aware that when it does pull back, it's probably gonna happen really fucking fast, man. So hopefully that was helpful. But be careful, I suppose, because when it does turn around, it will be rather brutal. But long term good. So I would be looking to buy whatever, or potentially looking to buy whatever blood does indeed happen. But right now, man, probably one more run to 50 cents or so. See how far it gets. What's up, Inspire Growth in Action? SLP for next few weeks outlook, if possible, please. Hey, you're from Jason's channel. Awesome, man. Cool, sweet. Also, where can I learn TA like you, sir? We'll actually have a free playlist on this YouTube channel. Where you can get started there if like you're super new to it. It's very, very basic, I should warn you. So if you have any real experience, you're probably going to look at it, and you might get like a few pieces of value there, but you also might just be, well, that was kind of a waste of time. Other than that, just kind of tuning into the daily streams. Pretty much I talk about most things I'm looking at there. Obviously I have my programs as well, but I don't really suggest those for people, especially at the beginning. Like, you really should have some experience first before even considering them. And it's better to err on the side of caution with that, just because for most people, like, they don't need it, and it's more of a headache than it's worth. So I just start off with like the free content first, hang around for like a month or two. If you still like it after then maybe start to consider some other things. Okay, yeah, let's look at some SLP. USD. All right. What do we got here? Yeah, this one. Okay, so we did get our rally from yesterday. Didn't quite get exactly where I was looking for. I think I said about just under 11 cents. We got to 10.5 cents or so. I think that's good enough, man. This is not a big fan of this chart, man. We got another chart that generally trends towards zero, like not good. Short term, kind of losing its structure right here. Have to be bearish below about 9 cents even, and looking for a short term move down to about 7.5. Probably bounce there, and I'd be looking for this one to do pretty much the same thing that's always done here. And I think best case scenario is this thing goes like sideways in this range for like months and months and months, and then maybe does another pump and dump like you saw over here. But I also think that this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's a reward token. So if it is, then this thing is just always going to have selling pressure, I imagine. Kind of like not something that you really want to invest into, in my opinion. You were looking at, next few weeks outlook. More of the same, man. More of the same. I think that you've probably seen your highs for now. I think at best this thing goes sideways and probably tests the downside of the range. I would change my opinion on this one actually very easily. Anywhere back above your 4th of October high, and probably look for an extension. It could be rather significant here too, all the way up to like mid-teens, maybe even upper teens, if that were to happen. But until that happens, man, I'm looking sideways and down here with all rallies that fail to get back above, especially especially that 10-cent high. Be just that, just failed rallies. Short term, I change my opinion above 9 cents, or at least issue a warning flag. Until then, sideways and down is the name of the game, man. What's up, Matt Rutledge? How about Tiger King, T King? I'm thinking it will flip Bitcoin. All right, everything's gonna flip Bitcoin. Hey, what the fuck? This is not a thing, sir. There's no Tiger King. I've been trolled yet again. All right, let's see. I'm just kind of perusing around, just seeing what Ethereum and Bitcoin are doing. Man, these charts are looking mighty different to each other right now. I don't like that. Oh, well. All right, let's see. Andrew says, thoughts on Proton XPR. Okay. All right, Proton, KuCoin. What time frame, sir? No time frames given. I'm going with the daily. Topping. 4-hour topping. Short-term bouncy, maybe 15 and a quarter or so again, but failure to reclaim like 16 and a quarter before end of day, and I'll be looking for this one to make next move down to 12, probably around 12 cents, and try for a bouncy bounce there. Long term, it's good. I mean, this is generally goes up, but I think you're getting ready for corrective times, sir. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. What's up, Mr. Almasari? Doggy coin. All right. I think Doggy Coin even pumped yesterday too. That's a really good sign. That's really healthy for the market. Oh, it did. And it's actually probably going to pump more from here too. Probably looking for this one to extend the gains towards about 28.5 cents or so. 4-hour continuation. Yeah. Invalidation below 25 cent. Until then, I'm looking towards 28, 29 cent or so. Yeah, it gets to follow the rest of the market. What do they say about the junk? It rallies first. Wait. Fuck. Oh, god damn it. Sorry, man. Some interesting moves over here. Perhaps. That action. All right, thanks, sir. Okay, let's get back onto the chatties. Hey, what's up, huge ass titties? I love you too, sir. The world needs more love. The world does need more love, man. The world needs more love and threesomes. Dan Dea says, up or down? Just wanted to say thank you. That's right. We're going to clone you. Okay? You're getting cloned, and we're going to not just have threesomes. We're going to have like 20 billion sums. It's going to be good. And best thing is you don't have to feed the clones. Dan Dea says, up or down? Just the fuck? We're not. I just wanted to say thank you. Hey, man, my pleasure, and thank you for that, man. Yeah, let's do Ethereum. Actually, this would be a good time to do it. Okay, let's do a general overview here. Here we have Ethereum, symbol ETH versus the dollar. We'll do a general overview on this baby. And what do we have? Well, let's go to the daily first. And we do have actually still lower highs on this one, which is a little bit concerning, seeing as it's not following in some of the more strong coins footsteps here with making higher highs. However, it's not too far away in this point. 3,600 would be the magical number for that one. And at that point, kind of to be looking for a retest of, in this case, base gear probably optimized at around $4,000 if that were to happen. With that said, momentum oscillators right here. Are we more bullish or bearish? Daily. Actually, daily is a bit of a rejection of the bullish control zone for right now. So perhaps a bit of short-term sideways here. Let's see if the lower-term timeframes agree with that. 12-hour, what are we getting? You get some hidden bearish evidence right there if we do top out here as well, actually. So does kind of need to make its move back above 35.50 before end of day. Otherwise, this one will start to look a little bit short-term toppy here, I suppose. 4-hour still good. We do have some bearish evidence come off that last high right there, to be fair, but you could argue that that's already played out. Volatility is coming in from a very, very low level here as well, so it is relevant to be looking at this one as likely to move intraday today. I just want to see it essentially take out its current highs on this rally. That would look really, really good and would imply technical targets around your last prior high at about 36 and some odd change, 36 like 20 to 36.50 or so. Look pretty damn good at that point. Here's what momentum also to say over here. And then I'd like to come up with some invalidation points for just some areas of interest for the downside. 4-hour turns down below 34.69. Okay, expiring in 51 minutes. Daily will turn down below 32.34. Not a concern right now. 12-hour will turn down below 34.80 actually. So we're right there right now actually. 6-hour, where we at? I'm going to turn down below 34.31 as well. So what would I go about saying then? Okay, I do think that I would err on the side of the boo laws here, just granted the current market structure, across the board, but below 34.30 or so, especially on a 4-hour closure, that's where I'd start to look at this as a bit of a medium-term top in this case, looking for moves back down to 33.25 or so, maybe even 33 even. Very likely another short-term bounce there, and then come back to it after that for tomorrow. Until that happens though, I suppose, just based off of everything else, I would be looking for general continuation here. But I'd really like to see this one, or this one would start to look really, really good if it could start to close even hourly dildos back above about 35.30 or 35.35 in this case, just above this last little high right there. And then yes, I'd be targeting the last prior high over here. That'd look pretty damn good, and probably even sets it up for more continuation over time. 5-day, what are we looking like? 5-day has hidden bullish divergence come off that last low. So that would be a little more on the bullish side. Again, 5-day BBWP is like literally in single-digit percentiles right there. So this thing is getting ready to explode. I just hope that that does come for the Bula sake to the upside. Buy daily closed yesterday. Yep, still okay, but not giving me too much right here. Still does have those nasty lower highs as well. No hidden bearish evidence possible there, so that would be a good signal. So again, just kind of going over the order of operations right here. For right now, it's okay. It is certainly okay right now, but your big warning signal is going to start to come back down below about 34.30. On a 4-hour, and then if tomorrow keels back on over, especially below 3400, even just trades below there, I'd be looking for this one to actually go for some pretty hefty retracements. Until then, I'd favor the upside, again, based off of those what's it called, pivots, and I'd be looking at a move back around about 36.50 or so, and at that point likely another short-term pullback right there, but I do not think that things would stop long-term there. Very, very likely you'd see extension over the next few weeks to around 4,000 or so if that were to happen. So it can go up, down, or sideways, of course, but in this case right here, I do think that you're going to get cleared on this move like today actually. So keep those areas of interest in mind, and know where your risk is, and hopefully that's helpful for Ethereum. All right, holy shit, I need another sippy sip of this, man. We are fucking hell, man. These videos are getting a little bit too long. All right, what's up, Alex? Okay, so it is a reward token. All right, so it is kind of like a sell the token thing. End stamp says fill USD. Okay, fill USD right here. And similar setup to that to Link, I'd be heavily bearish below 67, looking for a full retracement back down to 55 and a half or so. Until then, I cautiously favor the upside here. And I'd say confirmation of the next move to the upside back above 72 and a half, looking for moves short term back up to about 79, probably continues from there overall. So again, know where your risk is, but that one is cutting it very, very close right now. In fact. Okay, Adrian. Hey, what's up, Adrian? Can you check out Arweave, symbol AR? All right, Binance. Well, looking a little bit sloppy toppy as well, sir. Look, bearish divergence come with the high right there. Tested the top side of the daily range. Rejection, very likely to test the bottom side of the range now, 43 and a half to 43 and a quarter or so. 4-hour, I would invalidate this with a move back of about 53.40, 53 and a half region or so. Intraday needs to be. Otherwise, short term, continuation down to 47. Very likely a short term bounce there. Bounce very likely fails. Very likely comes back down to your prior range lows. I'm seeing, I mean, this is not a bad chart long term. Like, obviously, it's just, this is the top side of the range. Rejection, probably going to go test the bottom side of the range. More often than not. Hey, what's up, Derek? Derek says, good day in the neighborhood, sir, and all. Nice. Can't sleep. Here I am. Holy shit. Get your 8 hours of sleep, sir. Matic 4-hour daily, if not done already. We've actually already done it, but we can do it one more time, I guess, if you really, really want. And just showing up a little bit later on a zombie-esque night. You're looking at a 4-hour here. Very similar setup to the last few ones. Look, I'm really inclined to say that a lot of these are going to break down here, and I think that they are. But technically speaking, I should wait for this one to close below $1.25. below a buck 25, short-term extension down to 122.5. Very likely a short-term bounce there, but I would not trust that bounce. This one very likely fails back down to 115 or so. Until then, you can kind of drum the Boo Law's hopium there, but look, if this thing starts to come back down below there, hidden bearish evidence on the daily, it's very likely to come back down to low $1 if that were to happen. Until that happens, though, you can. I mean, this is a setup here. To be fair, just are we on the right side of the setup or not? I'm inclined to say probably not. 4-hour Jules is down as well. Take that as you will, sir. Take that as you will, sir. All right, let me pull this up over here. K says, Simple K, what's up, man? EGLD will outperform Bitcoin? Maybe. Many else will. They'll also outperform them to the downside, too, is the problem. We've already looked at this one, but short term, very likely coming down to your 225 or so. Daily. Long term, very, very good. Very, very good long term. I would invalidate this with a move back above about 245 and look for a retest of the highs of this current range, 260. And probably continuation from there, but I'm a lot more inclined to say that a lot of these ones are coming to the downside here. A lot of them coming to the downside, sir. All right, let's see. I think we're almost near the end here. What's up, Sahil? Can you check out H-bar? Okay, 4-hour daily. Sherpa hash graph? Yes. See where this one's at. Yeah, same thing over here. Same thing over here. Short term down, 37.5. Very likely bounce there. Daily. Short term toppy. Not long term bad. Again, to differentiate these two things, it's not long term bad, but short term probably coming back down to about 36.5. Very likely a bounce there. Personally speaking, I do not think the bounce will be anything other than a bounce, and then it comes down to like 35 or so. Again, long-term, very, very good. So these should be long-term opportunities, but momentum oscillators and volatility suggesting continuation of the short-term downside here. I'd invalidate this one back above about 40 cents in this case. A pretty simple one. Hopefully that was helpful. Adam, yep, we've already done this one as well. So nice and quickly, because my voice is done. My voice is donezo, sonzo. Short-term, looking for a bounce off of 33.40. I don't think it's going to be anything more than a bounce, man. I think this one's coming down to 30. This one's still coming down to 30, man. Phantom div on the daily. Rejection of the bullish control zone. The daily jewel starts to get that dark blue. Ooh, baby. Looking down. Should be bounced at about $30 on the daily, however. I would invalidate this back above 37 1/3 on this one specifically. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. All right, let's wrap up Bitcoin and let's get off on here on a very merry way. Alrighty. Here we have Bitcoin versus the dollar, and a lot of very interesting things actually happened over the last 24 hours. Bitcoin, obviously, well, actually, this was not the last 24 hours. This was about 3-4 days ago. Bitcoin took out the last lower high right there. So we are no longer in a downtrend. Obviously, we are in a bit of a, we're in a bit of a decision phase right here in the sense that we do have a higher high. We don't necessarily have a higher low just yet. At some point, Bitcoin's going to, very likely turn back down around and put in a higher low. If you want to be bullish, and that would be very, very good. That'd be excellent for Bitcoin to do. And would really solidify long-term bullishness. But something that I put a lot more weight on other than that would be the 5-day over here on CME closing tonight at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Any sort of a closure, especially about $50,000, we'll say, you maybe even cut that down to like 49.5 or so. And I'd be looking for this to really have a nice big move up into the deep 50s. I'm talking somewhere around like 57 to 58,000 bucks right here, somewhere around like the last high value nodes that we saw from that region in this case, which is about 57 to 58,000 bucks. And we are currently operating above the point of control right now. So Bitcoin is in a position of strength with this 5-day closure coming a little bit later tonight. So keep that in mind. This is looking pretty damn good for now, but it is a long day left to go. 13 hours, 53 minutes, and 7 seconds. And a lot can happen during that time, of which maybe you want to be aware of the old Baramuna. Just kidding, but maybe you do believe in that, in which case, I guess this may be relevant right there. Until then, short-term timeframes, let's go back on over here. What are we looking like? Maybe a little bit of a short-term pullback, perhaps. Looking like it is losing some momentum right now. Yeah, 4-hour BBWP is getting up there, up to almost 90 percentile. Don't want to see that get a little bit higher before I start to look for a more prolonged consolidation here. We're not quite there just yet. Go check out momentum oscillators over here and see where we're at. Daily will actually turn down below about 49,350. So keep that area in mind. If Bitcoin does fail below 49.5, that's going to be a pretty big warning signal for perhaps a bit of a ruggening right there. 12 hour is going to turn down below 50,800. 4-hour is going to turn down below 51,300 or so. Hourly will also turn down below 51,650 as well. With that in mind, keep an eye on the underlying market dynamics over here because we have a very similar setup in some ways to. Sir, can you stop that over there, please? To our September 7th major downside move. Actually, look at this. Sorry, I need to turn these off right now. But basically, what do we have? The global leverage ratio is starting to tick up. It's not necessarily exactly where we were on September 7th dump or August 16th dump as well, but it is getting up there, and it is, somewhat of a consideration alongside open interest chugging its way up along as well. So we could very easily see a leverage washing in this market yet again, but I don't look at that as actionable as long as Bitcoin is especially above $50,000. And that would be kind of like my big red flag warning signal. And then my major actionable signal would be below about 49, actually 49 and some odd change. Let's make it like 49.5. Let's just make it 49.5. Easy to remember right there. Could use an hourly. I'd probably use a 2 hour in this case, but below there, big warning signals. And that's probably where I would start to look for a leverage wash. And until then, keep an eye on the CME 5-day. If that one fulfills this condition, I would be looking for this one to essentially just kind of melt up in the next week or two into the deep 50s before any sort of potential major leverage washing. But right now, again, it's not necessarily at those levels, so it's not super solid. It's just a possibility. I would only look at that as actionable below those levels that we spoke about. Until then, sideways and up is the name of the game, I do suppose, although Bitcoin is showing some signs of slowdown here, especially on the shorter term time frame. So do be aware of where those areas are. If I'm looking very short term, I do think Bitcoin puts in another move down to about 51,000 even or so. It's not problematic, obviously, but we are seeing BBWP volatility like very low right here on pretty much all the lower term time frames, or not on the 4 hour, but on the hourly and also 5-day as well. So this next move is going to be pretty damn volatile, I suspect. Hopefully comes to the upside for the Bulas and for the Beras. Well, you're looking for a rejection pretty much down below about $50,000 before end of day. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to be signing off now. I want to wish you the best and the haps. Take care. Until next time. See that we have a couple more here. Man, I'm really fucking tired, to be honest with you. But we've done Ethereum. I will upload a video on Ethereum. I do apologize about that, but I promise to upload a video on Ethereum in a bit, or you can just scroll back like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. John, dude, yeah, we'll look at Mina just for a second here, man. I really do need to get off right now because my voice is like actually starting to hurt. Down, looks like shit. Probably coming back down to 430 or so. Maybe a bounce there. It doesn't look like too much shit. I mean, daily is still fine, but short term very likely comes back down somewhere around 430 to 440 or so. Probably tries for a bounce there. Now a 4 hour daily. Yeah, sure. Give it a chance to bounce there. If it fails, or especially if Bitcoin comes down as well, then I'll be looking for this one to melt. But until then, higher term timeframes are fine. So it just be an opportunity, I suppose. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful, man. I'm going to be signing off now. I want to wish everyone well. Take care. I salute you all. I love you all. And Elsa's not going to give you away because she does not. I didn't have the camera on there. All right, take care, everyone, and see you hopefully soon.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it,